the Monday edition. Does it feel like the Packers have not played a lot of football in the last month? Maybe that's not the worst thing. Edition. Tanner Mordecai. Things were coming together. And now you're out for an indefinite period with a broken hand. Tough day for the Badgers as well. Edition. And it's great to be back. I feel refreshed. What did I miss? Edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you could possibly want on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Packers get back to work after their bye week. Today, they will practice, during the show, and then we'll have locker room about 1 o'clock. So we'll see who has to say what after their time off. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, and so is, clad in his Badgers quarter zip, his Badgers hat. See an AmFam logo on his right biceps area. That's called flexing. He is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
We had a debate, and I see Jesse now going with the hoodie. Quarter zip, I think, is overrated. I don't wear a ton of quarter zips. They're not uber flattering, but I just don't think it's like, make up your mind. Zip or don't zip. Have a full zipper or have a hoodie. So that's why I'm wearing a hoodie today.
Oh, that's not a quarter zip. There's a hoodie in the back there. I couldn't see it with your flowing lock.
It is tough. That's a nice hoodie. It's a great
nice
material. Yeah,
great.
I think I've seen you wearing it before in front of the Children's Hospital.
It's very astute.
That time I could tell it was a hoodie. This time I couldn't. Saturday.
Yeah.
Not great, Bob.
No. I think that's a pretty fair assessment. And I think it was a kind of a slap to the face of reality of where things are. I look at the Packers and Badgers seasons. I thought from a parallel standpoint, you had a lot of newness on both. Obviously, Wisconsin, there's a ton more with a whole new system, new coaches, bunch of new players. And I tried to tell y'all in the beginning of the year when everybody was, we're going to win all these games and all this offense is going to be star-spangled awesome. And if you recall, the Badgers Outsider was, I don't know if this was in August, but I said, you know what, this is going to be very choppy. There's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. And obviously, Saturday was a bad day. Mordecai gets hurt, and it was announced today that his thumbs, he had some surgery done on his hand. I guess I want to make sure I specify that, on his hand. So I think this now really resets, I think, the expectation game. And discussing all last week on how disappointing I thought the Packers were. I'm disappointed in the Badgers, but I'm not as surprised, I guess, that we're seeing some of the things we're seeing. I honestly, though, going into the game, I always have a pretty rosy outlook. I really felt like our offense was markedly better than Iowa's. And Iowa's offense stunk, by the way.
Without their starting quarterback themselves.
4 of 14 for 37 yards is what old boy had.
Jimmy Garoppolo-like numbers.
37 yards throwing. And I think LePay and I were talking is the fourth quarter. I said, they're going completely Paul Christ here. They are not going to throw the football. I don't think they threw it in the fourth. 4 throws in the entire second half. And give them credit, though. Iowa played to their deal. They did exactly what they do. And the fact that we had no answers offensively was very disappointing, I think, for most of us.
So as the girls and I were driving around and listening to you and Matt LePay on the call, and as the fourth quarter started to play out and it looked bleak, I found myself thinking, is this between, and I understand, Badgers, it's not like they have won the Big Ten West every single year. Packers, it's not like they've been going to the Super Bowl every single year. There have been a few years where there have been tough times. We obviously know what happened last season with the Badgers and with the Packers. But that period last year, and now the growing pains that both programs are experiencing now, are we just not used to this and no one really knows how to cope with it? Is that a fair description? Because I have friends who are very frustrated with the Packers, and I have Badger alumni that did allow their expectations to get very high with the arrival of Luke Fickell, and allowed their Packers expectations to get very high after how they played in Chicago. And it feels like it's going to be a process on both of those tracks was not heeded as closely as perhaps they should have been.
Yeah, but again, and I said this on Tuesday last week, fans, they don't need to worry about all that. You be a fan. Media folks like you, coaches, you have to kind of understand where you're at. And Matt LaFleur has done a great job of tempering expectations. Luke Fickell has not. That's not been one of his strengths. He has not said, slow down, there's a process here. He's talking about winning. Now, I think we all understand that there's going to be a process with what he's doing as well. And, Jesse, I don't know, did you get that poll on the field that I threw you on Saturday night or Sunday morning?
I haven't yet. I was going to post it today as we get into it today.
Good deal. I do wonder if there's no doubt as fans, we've had so much success. Badgers, Packers, you can look at the Bucks, you can look at all. And that's all part of the deal. That's the expectation game is how you end up determining success, failure, and everything else. That's just the reality of sports. But what was unfortunate the other day was that this wasn't some juggernaut. I don't think anybody, I see somebody put up, Jeff in the 920 puts up about Ohio State. I don't think anybody's thinking we're going to go dominate Ohio State. I don't think anybody's thinking we're beating Michigan or Penn State this year. I just don't think anybody was thinking that. But what we were thinking was, if we can just incrementally grow offensively, we'll be so much better than the Big Ten West because their offenses stink. Well, you know what? Our offense wasn't very good on Saturday. Some could say that it stunk. I'm not going to, but some could. And when you factor all that in, you allow yourself to play the type of game that Iowa wants to play. They are doing it. That's what they do. We are trying to get away from that and trying to be more explosive and better on offense, and we weren't. And when you try to go and do something that you're not accustomed to doing regularly, identity-wise, and you play into someone else's hands like we did, the odds are you're going to end up with an L. And that's how I felt like Saturday played out.
All right, let me go back for a second because I do want to get to your poll because when you sent it, I really like it, and we do need to put it in the field. You said that thing about me not being a fan. And I guess my question is, fans can be fans. I get that. But if you have your expectations tempered, then you don't feel the same level of frustration that both those fan bases are feeling. And I feel like my job is to report to the fan base the information they need to keep their expectations realistic so they're not quite as pissed off as they are right now.
Yeah. But with that, you have to be willing to take on the heat that comes with doing that.
Yeah, that's been fun. But again, like you were right in trying to temper expectations for the Badgers. I understand that they have been really disappointing the last couple weeks, but I was trying to do the same thing with Jordan Love and the Packers, and it does feel like I posted that story from Sunday State Journal about Rodgers' comments, and I had messaged with him for quite a while the other night, and what he had said on McAfee about Love, and Aaron Rodgers was trying to do the RELAX on Jordan's behalf. And the way some folks responded to that story, I'm taken aback that there is an increasing amount of Packers fans who now suddenly have decided, because the 3 games that he's played of most recent vintage have been poor, that now he's not the guy. Like, we went from you and I arguing about whether he's been awesome or just very good, both agreeing, you and I, that he had outperformed our expectations for the first 2 games, to now that there does feel like there is at least a segment of the fan base generating momentum toward this guy stinks.
Yeah,
he's never going to be any good.
Yeah.
And I am trying to help people not ride that wave.
That's not. I don't think that's your job. I think your job is just to report what happens. I don't think you shouldn't.
Right, but isn't that information
but
what allows you to not
people
ride
take
the wave?
that information how they want, and if they want to feel that way, that's fine. And you know what? Jordan Love goes and plays a great game in Denver. People will ride the wave back up. I do think, and I have not been overly hard on Jordan Love. He's played poorly the last 3 weeks. He played awesome the first 2 games, sans the fourth quarter of Atlanta. I thought he has been, because my expectations were he's going to struggle a lot. He looked like he was in command. He's struggling a lot right now. I still believe that Jordan Love is a very good, competent NFL quarterback. I think that both of these situations, both the Packers and Badgers, couldn't be further away from each other, though. Your coach has been there 5 years. Most of your players understand the system that you're doing. You're asking Jack Nelson, Riley Mahlman, Tanner Bortolini, you're asking all of these guys to do something completely, it is Seinfeld-esque. You're doing oppo of everything that you've ever been taught. It's a totally different world, what they're asking the O-line and the guys to do. It's different. There's going to be more, this is going to be tough. And nobody's asking Jordan Love to do anything differently than what he's done. Now, is he doing it against higher quality competition? Sure. But that's where I think it's different. And from a coaching standpoint, these guys got the players they want. Are the Badgers are going through that process? They've been here 8 months without even having a recruiting class really to speak of yet. A bunch of portals, but not a recruiting class. So that's why I just look at this and say, from a patience standpoint, I have much more patience for red than I do for green and gold. Because A, it's professional versus amateur, and B, we haven't even really gotten started yet on the red side of it. That's where I look at this. And you could say, well, blah, 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 bias, all this other stuff, and maybe.
I'm not going to say bias. I am going to say that their 2 starting tackles are second-year players, so it's not like they've been in the system a long time. We've talked about their skill position players ad nauseum, right? 9 guys that are either rookies or second-year players. Their center is a 2021 draft class. Their right guard is a 2020 draft class. They're the most veteran guy they have playing for them on offense, since Aaron Jones hasn't played in a month plus, is Elton Jenkins. And 157 snaps in the NFL still makes you a young player. I don't care if you sat behind Aaron Rodgers for those 3 years. So I give them more grace on that. But you're right. It is that they're professionals. They are paid to produce. College football is different. NIL, forget all that. They're still 18 to 22-year-old kids. I am not comparing the expectations or the demands that should be put on them. I'm just saying that both have a lot of newness, and with newness comes frustration. That's all I'm saying.
It's fair. Yeah, and I think on both sides, I think the big part, especially Packer fans, is that we're not used to this. We're not. And
right.
Even when you look back at 08, I can't gauge what the vibe was outside of the locker room in 08. I don't know if it was the same way where we were riding the wave. I'm sure you could go back. I don't know if Twitter was around then, but you could look at it and say, there are plenty of people that probably said Aaron Rodgers stinks. Let's go. Todd McShay said it. Brian Brown's going to be the new quarterback. Well, okay. There always is going to be that. It's, I guess, just looking at this thing big picture, we need to have realistic goals of what these teams can do. And I still believe the realistic goal for the Green Bay Packers is to be a bubble playoff team. I still believe that, even with all this, because Now that you have a week to kind of finally look at what happens in the NFL, Philly loses, San Fran loses. There's so much, I guess, just
mediocrity or worse.
Yes, the NFL is mediocre. There's no juggernaut. There's teams that are better than other teams and on a consistent basis will win. But the beauty of the league is you better just keep improving because you can position yourself. Anyone can get upset. Now, do I think Green Bay can go beat Philly or San Francisco? I don't. Not consistently. Could they win 1 out of 8? They could. And if they do that, they can knock somebody out of a playoff game. So that's where if we believe, and I do believe, that the Wisconsin Badgers are improving. I know Saturday it was not. It was a step back. No question about it. The Packers, if they improve and they get Aaron Jones back this week, Christian Watson's healthier, Romeo Doubs is healthier, as healthy as they can be, and you start piling that up, this team will get better, and that's why I still believe that they could be a playoff team. And I don't think fans should say, well, that's too much of an expectation. No, it's not. Whereas the Wisconsin Badgers, to think that we could beat Ohio State or Michigan on a consistent basis as we're sitting here right now, that is not a realistic goal for our program.
I just want to channel my inner Jim Mora. Playoffs? I just want to win a game against the Denver Broncos this Sunday. Which, I have said this to others, I'm not actually going to take off on Monday if they lose. But can you imagine the frustration and angst of the Packers fan base if they lose coming out of a bye against a team as bad as Denver? I hope that does
something. The offense better throw up 24 plus against Denver.
Yeah, they're one of the worst defenses in the league.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yep. I said earlier that sometimes newness comes with frustration and challenges. That is definitely not true when you get new windows from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. All that comes with is happiness.
And we're talking about execution of great plays. Well, Team Pella is executing some incredible plays and deals. Products with limited lifetime warranties, incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass, stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze. This Pella play proves to be the game-winning tutter. Just like old boy from Iowa with that 82-yarder. Oh, baby, that was not good. Make monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door. That is a good deal. And you get a free quote at PellaWI.com today. 6.9% APR financing for 120 months. Certain restrictions do apply. See showroom for details. This offer ends on the 31st of October.
We will continue the conversation and talk a little more about the Badgers. Jesse's going to put that poll in the field. More next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde, and for years and years, I've been telling you about Boucher Automotive and how they ride with us and you every mile. But over the past year, Boucher has been hard at work improving their sales processes, expanding and remodeling their facilities, and investing in new technology and continuing their commitment to better serving their customers, their employees, and their community. And that's why at Boucher, when their customers leave the dealership, they hope they've made a customer for life. With 20 locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin and 30 brands, they've got thousands of new and used vehicles for you to choose from. They are proud to be your Wisconsin family dealership group since 1977. So check them out at Boucher.com.
Kevin Moret here for Mentality Men's Health. We hear stories every day in our clinics that what used to work for guys doesn't anymore. Increase cardio, cut out certain food, nothing stops the changes in their bodies, especially the weight. The fact is, years of decreasing testosterone has packed on the belly fat that won't go away. We've introduced a medication, semaglutide, that helps drop 15% of the body weight on average while preserving testosterone. Join the over 20,000 Mentality clients and jumpstart your results. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Congratulations are in order for Cedar Ridge Distillery's original 86 bourbon, the best-selling bourbon in Iowa for a third straight year, making a home in Wisconsin. Ben Bruss here to tell you more about Cedar Ridge Distillery's bourbon and whiskey. Aged in non-climate control rickhouses, the Midwest weather means Cedar Ridge products go through all the temperature swings. That means unique flavors. So it makes sense that the Quintessential is one of the highest awarded American single malts. Trust me, each bottle of Cedar Ridge is handcrafted with that Midwest feel. Learn more about their award-winning products at cedarridgedistillery.com.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. That's right, folks. Great Lakes Dragway's 2023 race season is in full swing. Come out to see our annual events like Memorial Day Weekend, Labor Day Weekend, Nitrous Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, Larry's Fun Fest, and Bug Fest. Looking for something new and exciting? Come see the Night of Fire Jet Show. Want the track all to yourself? Email or call about a private track rental. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for contact information and our full season schedule. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Want that mirror finish on your car? You need Z-Gloss by Z-Bart. Z-Gloss is a 3-layer ceramic coating that not only gives your car that mirror finish, it protects it from everything that Mother Nature can throw at it. Visit zbart.com for more information.
The bye week is over, and one of the big things that head coach Matt LaFleur wants to see out of his team, especially on offense, starting this week, is a new identity created.
I think that there are certain areas where, you want to be able to hang your hat on something, right? And have, whether it's go-to players or plays that you can go to in tough times.
It's Green Bay in Denver to take on the lowly Broncos on Sunday afternoon. That one's set for a 3:25 kickoff.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Sweetest Day is coming up, and we want to make sure you're equipped to make that special someone in your life extra happy with a Welke Sweetest Day giveaway on 94.5 ESPN.
Go on. I'm listening.
From now through October 20th, head to WelkeSweetestDay.com to register for your chance to win a Sweetest Day prize pack.
Ooh, this could be interesting.
A bouquet of flowers from Welke's Milwaukee Florist and a $50 Benson's gift card could be yours to share. Just go to...
Hold on, honey. I got this part. That's WelkeSweetestDay.com for full contest details.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Pop, it's showtime. Showtime. Guess who's back again? Oh, they don't know. I bet they know as soon as we walk in. Showed up, I'm wearing Cuban links. Designer mix.
The poll is in the field. And it reads thusly. Today's poll: after the Badgers' loss to Iowa on Saturday, do you, God, I love it when you do that for me, Jesse, nice work, still trust the process and head coach Luke Fickell? Or are you nervous about Wisconsin's football future? Tausch, I think in your original text you mentioned, concerned about the system won't work here. You're speaking offensively, right?
Correct, yeah.
Early returns. Trust the process, 71%. Nervous about the future, 29%.
Yeah, just listening to people after the game, and you knew this was going to happen. When you had a couple of tough losses, obviously out in the Palouse, which, again, I still want to find out what the Palouse is. You have that loss, and then this one I think really stings Badger fans because Iowa has replicated themselves after what we used to do. The game they just beat us in, that was our game. That's what we did to people, and we did it better than they did. So Badger fans, especially of a certain age, are looking at this and saying, "What's our identity? What are we doing in comparison to Iowa, who's stuck? And to be honest with you, playing here and having that foundation for all these years, I was actually excited Saturday to say, you know what, we're going to be different. It's going to look different. It did. Not the way we wanted it to, but offensively, I don't want to be in the position where Iowa was, where they knew everything. They had to have a punter punt for 502 yards, averaging 50 plus. They get one big play. That's the Chicago Bears way of winning. I like the Green Bay Packers way of winning with great quarterback play and offense, and that's what we're trying to get. It's what we're trying to do here. So I am definitely on the side of trusting the process, but I understood, and I knew this was going to happen, where fans are wondering, can we win here like this? It's a fair question to ask. I hope the answer is going to be yes.
So, a couple things. One, the Palouse, having seen it firsthand out the back of Coach Bennett's window when I went out to visit him out there many, many years ago. It's like rolling hills, and there's wheat fields and grass, and it's beautiful.
So the Palouse
Did you see
it? No, I saw that, but I didn't know why it was called Palouse.
I think that's just what they. I think it's
why,
more of a
though?
region than a type of.
So
it's not like a savanna or a forest. I think it's the name of the area.
Like the Cooley region?
No, what do we call the driftless? We got the driftless area here.
The driftless area.
What would like Green Bay be considered then?
Tidal town.
No, I know, but
yeah, it is.
from a
topography. Nice. I did not see this taking this turn.
The Bay? I don't know.
I don't know.
Palouse
That's a great
sounded
question.
like a train of some sort.
Because it sounds like caboose? That's what you're going with?
I didn't fully comprehend it. But it was awesome when I hear people say it. I'm like, that's cool. The Palouse. I'm not out at Pullman, Washington. I'm at the Palouse. We got the driftless area, and other than that, I don't know if we have anything else in Wisconsin that we would areaize.
No, you got the valley, the Fox Valley. You got the North Woods.
Okay.
We actually have a lot of the Cooley region.
A lot of prairie
What
regions.
exactly is the Cooley region?
That's La Crosse and like the.
It's got the bluffs.
Is it Coulee? Cooley?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You not spend a lot of time up there?
No, I love the La Crosse area. I used to go up there a bunch.
Granddad's Bluff.
Bluff City, yeah. Okay. You guys are starting to help me. The Palouse. Do we have anything Palouse-like?
We're not very Palouse-y, I don't think. I don't know. Aaron Hills might be a little Palouse-y. Hilly, wavy.
I didn't know all
the
that.
fescue. Yeah.
Fjords. Got a lot of fjords.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
So Iowa's current starting quarterback is a Badgers transfer who left
Deacon
the program and completed 4 passes in the game.
It was tough.
Has he always looked that old? Like he had facial. He looked like he was like
gray
30.
hair?
He's a big, strong dude.
Yeah, he was like big and burly.
He's a
big
burly
beard.
dude.
Looked like a lumberjack, like 30-year-old lumberjack. Like if he had flannel on, I would have thought he was chopping wood.
So the poll question notwithstanding, I'm curious. Like you played in the quote-unquote old system here.
Yep.
Also, didn't we spend much of last season talking about how we didn't really think that the old system could still work in today's college football with the way the landscape was changing?
Yeah, it's very Palouse-y.
So, are we just panicking? Is that what we're doing?
No, I think I legitimately think it's a fair question that people ask. I do. Because we've had so much success and a team that has replicated, or at least tried to, and they've done a good job of replicating. There's not a doubt in my mind, Kirk Ferentz, when he went to Iowa in 98 or 99, said, that's how we're going to win. Barry Alvarez's blueprint, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And you know what? They've developed a ton of really good offensive linemen, tight ends. They play physical. Their defense, I think one of the problems with what we saw is you draw up all this stuff on paper, and Phil Longo, by all accounts, is a kind of a mad scientist. He's in there.
Sure. Mike Leach-esque.
And I think you draw up an account for things, but it's kind of like analytics. You also have to say, well, can my left guard block their defensive tackle? Because analytics, 4th and 2, we need to do this, or 3rd and 6, we need to do this. Yeah, that's all great on paper. Iowa, and this is the part that you still have to have, you still got to win physical one-on-one battles. And Iowa won a heck of a lot more of them than we did on Saturday. That's the part that I think the questioning, can we continue to do this? Are we going to get the horses to be able to execute what Phil Longo's plans are? That's a fair question to ask.
And it's a process that is incumbent on successful recruiting of getting the players that are going to fit what you do, and on a truncated recruiting trail that they were on with a new staff and a new system. I don't know how you couldn't see this as being a potential
I think
outcome.
The problem is, and this is the same thing, because I do think, as much as I want to say, well, the Packers should be here comparatively because their coach has been there for 5 years, I do think you can make the parallel and say, well, until you get guys settled in and can start figuring that stuff out, the fact that the Big Ten West is all-time bad, it is a bad conference this year. I really felt like even if we were growing, as long as we were improving, which we all expect to continue to happen, we would be okay. Because it's, what's the opposite of a jungle? I mean, that's what this is.
A palouse.
It is a real palouse out there. There's a lot of wide open spaces for someone just to go and walk through. You're not going through a bunch of brush and everything else. It is palouse-esque. And that's the hard part of this, just like the NFC. Maybe the NFC's better than I anticipated. I don't think so. But this Big Ten West it has a chance, when all's said and done, to be one of the lowest producing offensive conferences we've ever seen. That's what this has a chance to be.
I love how that worked out. Palouse came in very handy there.
I think we should take calls because I'm fascinated. We got the Tom Oateses of the world who I think are very...
well, we could take a call from him. We should tell him to call, too.
I just think it's interesting because obviously he has been on the Paul Chris side of the conversation mostly, right?
Sure.
You have to... Certain things are going to be a certain way, and that's how you're going to win here. And if you look at history, that's fair. I thought his tweet the other day about comparing this to the Don Morton era was a bit strong, in a big way strong. And I think he put Gary Anderson in there, too. I thought that part was crazy, if I'm being honest with you. But that's where I think our fan base is at as far as figuring those things out.
All right, I want to get to this text real quick because I do want to get to what Adam Mertz said on Wisconsin College Game Day. I trust the process, Adam in DeForest writes.
Well, that Palouse is beautiful.
But not making more... But not making more offensive adjustments to what you have on the current roster is arrogant. My question for you, Tausch, as the color analyst who sees the game and does... I'm sorry I missed Matt LePay while I was gone on our show, but I got to listen to you both while we were in the car for a lot of Saturday. When you watch them, can you go back with what you have on the roster and play the Iowa-type game to get through when you've also lost Ches Malusi? So your running game is not what it was.
Well, let me ask you this question. Do you want them to do that?
Well,
if you want to build and do something different, can you revert back? You can't, in my opinion.
I guess from a game-to-game basis, if your offensive linemen are, and again, I don't know offensive line play the way you do, if they are able to effectively play the type of blocking that you did during your time?
You cannot do that, no. I don't think that's... Now, I think Luke
Just
Fickell,
to get you through a game where the opposing team has a guy who's completed 4 passes.
I think when you look at Luke Fickell does the Monday morning quarterbacking of the game, I would venture to say he's going to look back at the beginning of the game and say, oh, what the heck was I doing? We threw it 8 straight times. Braylon Allen, I think, only got 5 touches in the first half. There's different ways, and your system is, well, if you have a heavy box, you do this, a light box, you do that. I think sometimes you just got to say, I got to have our guys, I got to get the ball to my guys. That, I'm guessing, is going to be the post-mortem of what we saw on Saturday. And you're going to say, number 0 needs to get the football more than that. And it's not going to be 2 tight ends and a fullback, and that's not where we're at. So, no, to answer your first question. But can you still do what you do under this system? And maybe you have to tweak and say, well, you know what? I don't care if they have an 8th guy in the box. Let's see if he wants to tackle Braylon Allen 10 times. That would be the pushback that I think a lot of old-school Badger fans would give to Phil Longo and this new staff.
All right, the rolling hills.
Boy, is that a beautiful...
Isn't that breathtaking?
Why is that grass? What is that? What is that brown there? I'd like it if
I think that's the wheats, Tausch. I think those. That's the
I know,
wheats.
but it looks like a golf course with like old sand traps. The Palouse is beautiful, though. Look at that.
It's breathtaking. Also, your hoodie, not quarter zip, has the AmFam logo on the side, and I know they've got some fun stuff planned, no matter how things might be going for the Badgers.
Badger fans, Ohio State, we need you. Need the fans out there. And American Family Insurance wants to give you and a friend a VIP experience at a Badger football or basketball game during the 2023 season. You and a friend will receive pregame, sideline, or courtside passes, a tour of the facility, and tons of merch to support your Badgers. Enter today at amfam.com/Badgers. No purchase is necessary. Dream fearlessly, insure carefully.
844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Tausch, we are predominantly a Packers show. I do feel like both fan bases have people that want to express some frustration.
Yeah.
So you're welcome on either side of that coin to do so. 844-770-3776. That is the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. I do want to play coming up. Jesse wouldn't even tell me. He doesn't do this very often. He wouldn't tell me what is actually said in this clip.
2-day tease for Jesse.
Which I kind of like to know what's coming on the show, personally.
I was driving around on Saturday listening to the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
You steered right into the curb when you heard this.
Adam Mertz he was asked by Colin Russo, what letter grade does he give Luke Fickell at this juncture?
Ooh.
And
tease us out.
Do it, Jesse, do it!
And the answer shocked me more than the beauty of the Palouse. We'll review what Adam Mertz said next.
And take your calls.
On Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank, and as a community bank, we sincerely appreciate our customer loyalty. Over nearly 90 years, we've done all we can to return the favor. Great Midwest Bank offers flexible solutions that bigger banks and credit unions simply can't, because our entire team is right here in the community. We love helping our neighbors when we're at work and then catching up over the weekend. Visit us at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
The Bog in Saukville is Ozaukee County's best golf experience. 18 championship holes designed by the legendary golfer Arnold Palmer, settled amongst 250 acres of beautiful private land. The Bog caters to golfers of all skill levels, offering a golf experience unlike any other. Come enjoy the finest golf greens in Wisconsin, and after your round, enjoy a bite to eat in our restaurant or out on our new patio bar overlooking the 18th green. It's time to golf, Wisconsin. It's time to enjoy the Bog.
Homer here. Two-time national champion winning quarterback Tim Tebow will be in Milwaukee on Thursday, October 26th for the Great Lakes Adult and Teen Challenge Gala. Tim Tebow, college football legend, great author. Get your tickets at GreatLakesATC.com. 100 tables are filled. They should be 120. I'll buy one. Now we're at 101. GreatLakesATC.com or call 414-748-HOPE to see Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow, Thursday, October 26th in Milwaukee.
What are we having for dinner? At Cousin Subs, we have a simple answer for this age-old question. A family 4-pack, of course. Now at participating Cousin Subs locations, you can get any 4 classic or deli fresh subs or subs in a bowl and 4 chips or regular fries for the limited time only price of $30 plus tax after 4 p.m. You heard that right. Feed your entire crew for just $30. Order in store at cousinsubs.com or via our app. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
The Saganiac Planning Marquette Championship Moment. every second Dwayne Wade was on the court. This year, first ballot Hall of Famer. First ballot. It's special to just be in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, regardless of how many years it takes. Marquette superstar Dwayne Wade called flash in the pros. He was D-Wade, Microwade, Tidal Wade at Marquette. Drop them all. Dwayne Wade has only one nickname left, and call him when you see him. Dwayne Wade, first ballot champion. Level funding for your corporate medical insurance plan allows small to medium-sized employers to create a plan tailored specifically to meet the needs of your employees. Level funding provides the employer with predictable monthly payments, regardless of claim activity, allowing for better budgeting and peace of mind. For more information how level funding can benefit your company, call Aaron Belowski, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. That's 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football season? Well, test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of statistics, and place your entry. It's as simple as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and an enormous selection of players and stat options are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million football fans who have already signed up. And right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/WI and use code WI. That's code WI at prizepicks.com/WI for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
She said, what's the problem, baby? What's the problem? I don't know. Well, maybe
844-770-3776. You can get your frustrations off your chest. Badgers, Packers, October weather, whatever it might be. But I do want to play this much teased since Saturday, Jesse. Why wouldn't you tell me what he said? Is it that shocking?
I just wanted, sometimes you like to keep things a surprise to get the raw reaction from you. And Adam Mertz is he's been part of ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day for a long time. He's one of our long-established voices of our pre- and post-game
No doubt.
He's
great guy, too.
Fantastic guy. Usually very measured in his assessment.
That's because he's a sports writer at heart.
Well, maybe we got to him then on Saturday. Maybe he was just fired up after the Iowa loss, because this is what I heard driving on Saturday evening, listening to Adam Mertz and Colin Russo on the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show. Colin asked him, what letter grade do you give Luke Fickell at this juncture of his tenure as Badgers head coach?
I would think that a high grade for him at this point is a C-. I don't like the way that they've responded in the 2 games that I thought were true tests. They just were not ready to play against Washington State and didn't have an answer today against the craziest one-dimensional Iowa team that I've seen.
So what he's saying is they don't really deserve even a C-.
Yeah, high
That's what he
grade
was saying,
C-, but really like a D or an F is where he's putting
Can
Luke
anyone
Fickell's grade.
say that this has been an F so far, though? I mean, I know
Oatsy might.
No, not even Oatsy.
I want to make sure where Oatsy's been texting. Oatsy would love to have you call in, because I think I don't want to mischaracterize Oatsy's point of view. I want to make sure Tom gets to put his stamp on what he says. I think his question is this offense with Phil Longo going to work here? And I think that's a very fair question for him to ask.
So can I read his tweet? Because if he's suggesting that you mischaracterized it, having read it now, you kind of mischaracterized.
Okay, I'll own that. Let's hear what he had to say.
Tom Oates writes, with 126 replies to it, which I am not going to read. Bottom line on Badgers. Fickle/Longo are trying to change the offense and doing it with Christ's players, many of whom aren't good fits. Hard to make long-term judgments until they get their own guys.
Agree. Totally agree with Tom.
Okay, now here's the sentence that
okay
got you riled up. But those of us who watched Morton
that was,
and Anderson, not to be confused with Morton Anderson, the kicker.
Yeah.
Those are two different Badgers eras. Those of us who watched Morton and Anderson have every right to be skeptical.
Yeah.
And his argument.
So I don't know. I'm not sure where I mischaracterized him. I think it was the Paul Chryst guy. I think we all saw Paul Chryst have a lot of success at Wisconsin. Did we not? A lot of success.
And Paul Chryst and Brett Bielema and Barry Alvarez essentially all did the same thing.
They did.
And it worked. It didn't win a national title, but it won a lot of Big Ten championships. You went to a lot of Rose Bowls.
Yep.
A lot of good things happened. Now, again, I don't want us to lose sight of the conversations we were having a year ago when things were going poorly, and that was in the era of NIL and transfer portals and all the other stuff. Is this going to be able to sustain itself as your approach? Is the Wisconsin way going to work? So now to have changed it and be sitting here and now questioning whether this is going to work is a little knee-jerky for me.
I think the question that everyone has, even the most ardent Luke Fickell, Phil Longo supporters, and the skeptics, are you going to, and this is something Barry Alvarez talked about for a long time, are you going to be able to get the athletes here to execute the game plan and the way Phil Longo wants to play? I don't think I think we all were excited about the wide receivers coming into the season. I'm down at Platteville watching and thinking, man, this is different. Mm-hmm. And there's more depth. We lose a couple of guys. Will Pauling has been really good.
He has.
Have we seen anybody else? Bryson Green had a couple of really nice catches on Saturday. But the question I think that Otzi is pondering, and I think all of us are, is can we do that here? That is a complete unknown. And I think everybody has an unknown about that. Everybody. Because you have to get the players here, and then you have to start seeing it. But it's a fair question that I think Tom brought up. And, again, I love Otzi. I don't know. I want to make sure. I don't want to. And I'm being
Can I see those texts?
I'm being dead serious. I do not want to mischaracterize him. I want him to be able to put his point of view out there. And that tweet that you read, I think, summarizes it very clearly. But anytime you bring up the Don Morton era at Wisconsin, everybody that was around for that is going to shiver because that's not what we're looking for. No offense to Don.
I would just say this, that both the Don Morton eras and the Gary Anderson eras were the two eras that people tried to do not what Wisconsin is known for. It doesn't mean that the Fickell-Longo era will go as poorly as those did, but it is okay to be skeptical about the idea of trying to win a different way at Wisconsin and whether you can do it or not. And that doesn't mean that you can't. It just means that Otzi and others did not jump on the runaway train bandwagon of Luke Fickell mania after he got hired, and the point you made earlier is a really good one, because the dichotomy between him and Matt LaFleur in terms of, and he's a college coach and Matt LaFleur is an NFL coach, but one doing everything he could to temper expectations and the other didn't. With the bat signal and everything else, right?
Correct, yeah.
And I also want to give Luke, I don't know Luke Fickell at all. He's been on the show once. But I do like the fact that I read Jim Polzine's column on Sunday morning, and I just called it up again because I wanted to make sure I quoted him correctly. But Luke Fickell owned it, man. Like, he got outcoached. He and his staff got outcoached. And I respect that he admitted that, because that's the kind of game where you should be able to find a way against a team that can't do anything offensively either. And I know you lost Mordecai, and that made it much harder. But man, oh man. Not great for Ferentz's son's contract either, that they only put up 15 points, but they won the game, which is what matters.
Yeah, I think Bulaga, when Brian joins us, I don't think that contract is what people are putting it out. I think that's a sprinkler in. I think if they're winning, if they win the Big Ten West and go 10-2, I don't think Ferentz's kid's going anywhere.
I'll tell you this, Kirk Ferentz, you know who he really loves?
Brian Bulaga.
Besides Christian Welch, who I wrote about. You can read about that in the State Journal.
His kid. I bet he loves his kid.
He does love his kid, but he loves Brian Bulaga maybe almost as much as he loves Brian Ferentz. Because we talked late last week, and he's a big fan of Blue, as are we on the show. All right, I know we've got a few calls, so we want to get to those coming up. Neither of them is from Otzi yet. He's very busy in retirement. He's got time to text you. But, again, he's got his own podcast now. I don't want to take away listenership from that. Instead, I want you to tell us about Coors Light.
Oh, we needed a Coors Light after Saturday. Hopefully we won't need one after Sunday's game against the Packers, but we could have one to chill. Coors Light, brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged, so it is made to chill. The mountains on Coors Light's cold activated bottles and cans. Oh, just wait, where's that game this weekend?
Denver, Colorado.
Oh, it's very close to Golden, Colorado. So born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978. Coors Light is refreshing. It's crisp. It's only 102 calories. You know what's better? You know what's great? You go out to Denver. You watch our Packers beat the Denver Broncos, and then you crack open those beers right out in the Rockies. Oh, baby. That's what we need when we need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, out there in Golden, Colorado.
And if you can't get any, then just drink Russell Wilson's bubble water, because I'm sure that'll be just the same. 844-770-3776. If you're on hold, stay there. We'll get to you next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Even when you think you know what's going on,
maybe we do give Joe Barry a fake headset. He's not actually talking to the guys.
You can never be too sure. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
They said, Joshy, everything was on the table. I don't think that we should eliminate that as a possibility.
Put like old game chatter in his ears so he thinks something is still going on.
Do it against the Chiefs. I mean, what's the line going to be there?
Morning 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. If you're in the market for a full-size 8-passenger SUV, look no further than the Defender 130. And with the Defender 90, the 110, and this 130, there's luxury in the right size for everyone. And now is the best time to take advantage of a great offer like this.
For a limited time, get 3.9% special APR rate for up to 60 months on new 2023 Defenders at Land Rover Waukesha. Go to LandRoverWaukesha.com.
Now's the time to get your place ready for company with up to 40% off select online bath at the Home Depot, because the holidays are coming to town. And so are your friends, your family, and their friends and family. So let the Home Depot help get your bathroom guest ready with the Tabana Vanity and the matte black Oswell faucet from Glacier Bay. For more storage and a new modern look, refresh your space with up to 40% off select online bath. Plus, get free delivery on all online vanities and faucets from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
28 years on the Packers.
I would flat out cut his ass to send a message.
37 years playing in the NFL.
This is the best win in the Matt LaFleur era.
87 years covering the Packers.
And that's what happened in the fourth quarter. That's all. He has been really good.
And 46 years of being on ESPN.
I said to Herman Edwards one time, it's hard to win a game in the NFL. He said, John, it's hard to make a first down.
There's no place with more experience when it comes to talking about the green and gold. All day, every day. We are 94.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Dr. Mike Jarkson joins me. Doctor, what makes the Spine Center at OAW such a special place?
What I think makes it the best in the state is the fact that we can do everything under one roof. What I mean by that is we have a number of providers. All of us are here to evaluate the problem, diagnose the problem. We have x-rays, we have MRIs. We can then go on and treat the problem all under the same roof with physical therapy, if that's what it requires. We have a number of great spine specialist physical therapists. We also have a surgery center where, if necessary, we can arrange injections. And finally, if it comes to it, we can do surgery in this building as well, especially minimally invasive type procedures that get people healed with a quicker recovery period.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Let's get back to the phones. Mark in Pewaukee's been waiting a while, so let's get to him first. Mark, good morning. Thanks for holding, buddy. What do you got?
Well, one guy stole a little bit of my thunder, but what I was going to say is, first of all, I was a Chris guy. Thought it was ridiculous he got fired during the season, but that's long gone. So far, I got to give him Fickle a D. And they played two games against good teams. Not only did they lose both of them, they look bad doing it. So that's so far. That doesn't mean what his grade's going to be a year from now, but so far D. But what I do think is what everybody's glossed over. We have been pretty much, for 25 years, a top 15, top 20 program consistently, correct?
Yeah, it's fair. Yep.
Those days are done. And not so much because of Coach Fickle or whatever. Their schedule is so much more difficult going forward. If this was the old Big Ten West and things were continuing on the same, I think Fickle could be successful. I don't know if he'd be any more successful than Christ, but he could be successful. Their schedule, they now have 5 or 6 games every year against elite teams. And unfortunately, the next 3 years, they got 2 Alabamas and a Notre Dame, besides USC, UCLA,
and Oregon,
Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, and Iowa. There's no way. If you even go 500 against those teams, that's pretty damn good. And you're not going to get a sniff of the college playoff. And I'm sure once we went to 12 teams, everybody thought, we can be in the mix for that, which I did too until we saw this new schedule. So anyway, I hope he can. He might be fairly good, but he can't. He's not going to get enough 4-star and 5-star players, which we don't get. We never have. I don't think he will bring in any more. If he does, he'll bring in a couple more. And there's no way you're going to offset that schedule. That's my opinion.
Yeah, there are certainly challenges baked into the cake. Thanks for the call, Mark. There was a line in...
that's kind of a depressing call.
Yeah, that was not what you're...
Isn't Fickle here to bring in the recruits?
And I'll say this. Mark brings up great questions for people to answer.
Yeah.
But yes, if you just look, again... 4- and 5-star recruits, they don't win you championships. They give you a chance. And there are more 4-star kids that will be coming in just off of this initial part of what we've got for the 24 class. Mm-hmm. So there is this process for sure. But yes, just like Jesse said that the Brewers, because Shohei Ohtani is going to go to the Dodgers, the iron's hot. The iron was hot to win a Big Ten West this year. And, the pseudo-championship game that was Saturday out at Camp Randall, I still think Iowa could slip up, but I think Wisconsin can slip up too. So it's and now they have that head-to-head. The schedule is going to get daunting. We're going to need to get markedly better, and we're going to need to get a ton of talent in here in order to compete with the schedule that we're going to be having.
The one paragraph that Jim Polzine's column contained that had me stop and go, was this. I tossed out a fickle stat last December and got some pushback from fans who were so in love with the hire that they didn't want context. He was 57-18 at Cincinnati, but only 2-9 against teams that finished the season in the top 30 of the Sagarin computer rankings. Iowa and Washington State, the two teams to beat the Badgers this season, are both ranked in the top 30 of those ratings. Now, look, again, I am predisposed to patience. I've been preaching it with Jordan Love and the Packers. I've been preaching it with the Badgers. I don't have a problem with patience. I understand not everyone is wired that way. I think Otzi makes some good points. I know you make some good points. My only thing is that all this stuff takes time, whether it's good or bad, right? Like, if you're going to find out that this is not the right fit, whether it's Jordan Love or a coaching staff or a coordinator or whatever it is, 5, 6, 7 games is not enough to know for sure. Lots can change. That's all. And so I would just love to see patience, but I understand football is not a patient realm.
This society is not patient. Like, it's just, this is where we're at in life. This isn't 1980 or 2023. Things happen faster.
Yeah, I'd have been good in the 80s. We will kick off the 10 o'clock hour. We pushed back our trivia, so be ready to play that a little bit later in the program. The 10 o'clock hour kicks off in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Haul away big savings this weekend at Fleet Farm's Truckload Savings Event. Like 40-pound bags of superior hardwood fuel pellets, 2 for $11. Morton Clean and Protect water softener pellets are only $5.89 a bag. Save on 40 pounds of black oil sunflower seed, just $18.99. And get a free $15 Fleet Farm gift card with select Science Diet pet food. Stock up on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
The all-new Potawatomi Casino Hotel has something you gotta see. Play more slots and games, and you could say, "Show me the money," to reveal up to 10 grand each Thursday. 800,000 in prizes is up for grabs. 40 winners each week. This October and November at Potawatomi, Milwaukee. When you're ready to win, just say, "Show me the money." More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
The Bog in Saukville is Ozaukee County's best golf experience. 18 championship holes designed by the legendary golfer Arnold Palmer, settled amongst 250 acres of beautiful private land. The Bog caters to golfers of all skill levels, offering a golf experience unlike any other. Come enjoy the finest golf greens in Wisconsin, and after your round, enjoy a bite to eat in our restaurant or out on our new patio bar overlooking the 18th green. It's time to golf, Wisconsin. It's time to enjoy the Bog.
Tired of power outages disrupting your life? Make them a thing of the past by getting a Generac home standby generator from Adams Generators. Adams Generators is the largest and #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. With 24/7 emergency support, our factory-trained technicians are standing by to assist you. Visit adamspower.com/generators to make sure your power always stays on. That's adamspower.com/generators.
Hey,
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
I've been grinding so long, been trying it for years. And I got nothing to show, just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers and something's changed. I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. All my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Is it weird that the Packers haven't played a Sunday game since that Saints comeback?
That's a goofy schedule. Very goofy.
And I understand they've got the Thanksgiving game, which I know you enjoyed Thanksgiving games, right?
If we won.
Detroit, you could fly home, still have Thanksgiving with your family.
Yeah, I didn't like the only thing I liked about it was the fact that we had little to no practice. It always felt like we were banged up, and we just tried to figure out a way. How can we find a way to go up there and win and get the hell out of there?
That seems to happen in November, late November of a season. And the Packers do play on November 23rd at Detroit on Thanksgiving.
Did you find yesterday's slate of games very meh?
So meh that I barely saw
Tony
any of it.
Romo and Jim Nantz were calling the Raiders and Patriot game? Potentially two of the worst teams in the NFL.
Big win for the Raiders, though.
I get home about 6 o'clock, and I see the Lions-Buccaneers game is on Big Fox. And then the night game last night was who? Buffalo and the Giants?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Everything is pointing towards offense, and every game is a struggle. They're going to change more rules to make it more offensive than what we've seen.
The Jets beat the Eagles basically with their defense.
Yeah, they Iowa'd them.
And with Aaron Rodgers standing on the sideline in a shoe and throwing passes. But we'll get to that a little bit later. It does feel like forever, and I do want to point out now, and Tausch, we didn't spend a lot of time because I was gone for the last 2 days of last week, but this bye week, we said it. You love to hear it. Oh, so bye comes at the perfect time. Not now. They got 12 straight weeks now to end the season with a mini bye after Thanksgiving. That's it. They've got this bye at the exact point in the year that they turned it down a year ago, coming back from London, because they didn't want it this early.
Yeah, this bye week sucks as far as what you're looking for from a team standpoint. You don't want to. You're just getting rolling. Now, granted, you had a tough loss, but when you lose, you don't want to sit and fester on it. You want to go get back out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you factor all that in. It was a terrible time. It is what it is. That's what coaches will say, players will say, and you can try to spin it.
Love that one.
But now you have a 12-game run, and the positive in it is hopefully that means Aaron Jones will be healthy the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Because I'm convinced, and I know you are as well, that this offense will look a lot better. Jordan Love will look a lot better. This offensive line will look a lot better when Aaron Jones is out there. So I don't get the NFL schedule is a complicated thing. I understand you got to plug a bunch of things in and algorithmize it, and it pops out a bunch of different options.
AI.
It's a crappy schedule, and from a fan standpoint, it's been too long. Let's get to a Sunday game. I can't wait for Sunday.
One game in 23 days between their loss to the Lions and when they will play Denver in Denver.
You know what would have been
on
smart
Sunday.
is for the NFL to give the Lions and Packers a bye before their Thursday night game.
Well, that would have been something, wouldn't it have been? Seems like a good idea. That's not what occurred, however, and they'll go into Thanksgiving on a short week, as they always seem to do, as Tausch mentioned. All right, so one of the great things, and I know Pat McAfee has been in the news a lot for how much he's paying Aaron Rodgers, for all kinds of things. And he's part of the ESPN family now, and he's a machine. I mean, he's got it humming over there. I do like the fact that I don't have to worry about what Aaron Rodgers may or may not have said on McAfee every Tuesday anymore. It did make our Wednesday shows very Aaron Rodgers heavy for the last several years, and that has not been the case on our Wednesday shows this year. But I did like what he did last Tuesday, and we didn't spend any time on it. But I do want to play it because it was the basis for a story I did in the State Journal, and I do think that he has some expertise in this. And while you may not want to listen to him talk about other topics, him talking about Jordan Love, I think that's his lane. He knows what Jordan Love is going through because he's done it himself while you were his teammate. Here's Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee talking about Jordan Love.
Yeah, I sent him a message last night. I love Jordan. You know, he's a great kid. I think he's showed a lot of things early in the season. He's shown ability to throw the ball down the field. He's very athletic. I feel like he's had some number of really nice look-offs and just a number of plays that kind of, I think the average fan has got to be like, oh, you know, this guy is going to be around here for a while. This guy can really play. As we've seen in New York and Jersey, with our young stud, you know, week to week, the narrative can really change. You know, it can be, you're not the guy, and this is a mistake one week, and the next week you're going to be around for 15 years. And that's the overreaction of our league. And the important thing as a quarterback is just trying to keep your confidence, realize it's just part of it. There's going to be ups and downs in your career, ups and downs in the season. You just got to keep pushing through. You got to be the same guy every single day. You got to inspire your teammates and bring that consistency. And they got a bye week coming up, and then going to, I believe, Denver, I think, after that. So a good chance to bounce back for them. But love Jordan. And, obviously watching the game, there's things about the offense that I know because I ran, similar offense there, so I have an idea about what they're trying to do. I felt kind of like in our game, there were times in the red zone where maybe they weren't as aggressive as they could have been. We in our game had a couple where we kind of ran the ball, and then one of the toughest plays in football is like 3rd and goal from let's call it 7 to the 10, There's just not a lot of great plays in that situation. Even 6 and 5, I feel like those are tough situations. So I thought he made a great throw to Christian on the keeper, where Christian kind of got lost there. And Peters actually makes what turns out to be a great play to stop. I mean, if Christian scores on that play, it's 17-10. That's a whole different ball game. He horse collars them, gets them down like at the 5. They hold them to a field goal. Now it's 13-10 instead of 17-10. That was a big game-changing play. Obviously, he got unlucky, on the tipped interception. The other one, he probably just didn't see the inside backer there on the strike route. But listen, there's going to be growing pains. I had growing pains my rookie year. We all go through it. My first year starting, my 4th year, just like him. He's going to be just fine. Like I said, he's a great kid. They got a young team. They've had some injuries. Aaron Jones has been out the last few weeks. He's a dynamic player. Christian, had been out, just came back this last week. So I would just say to the Packer fans, just take some deep breaths. Just trust his kid. He's a great kid. He cares about it. He's going to be around for a while, and they're going to get it fixed.
All right, so he's a little Wilde rambly-ish in the middle section of that, but at the end, doesn't that just sound like him doing the RELAX on Jordan's behalf? That's how it sounded to me. Take some deep breaths.
Do you think Packer fans care about Aaron saying that?
I think people don't like Aaron Rodgers, so they don't like hearing it from him. But I think when you have someone who has done the same thing Jordan is doing,
you think
his insight should matter.
Okay,
yes.
That's fair. I mean, do you think Packer fans care that Aaron thinks that he's the answer and all of this other stuff? Do you think Aaron really wants the Packers to win?
I don't think he wants Brian Gutekunst to succeed. But
so then
I think
all this stuff he's saying, you kind of look at it from that lens. But
I think no, because and again, things are more nuanced than that. If you hate Brian Gutekunst's guts, but you really like Jordan Love and you want to see him, you probably don't want to see him win a Super Bowl. Fair?
I don't know.
If he's really being honest.
I don't know.
If he had a Coors Light and some ayahuasca on the table, and you got him to tell the truth, he would say, I want Jordan to succeed but not be as good as me. I think.
Okay.
That would be normal human behavior, right?
Well, but
fair?
Aaron's not normal human behavior.
I understand. That's a whole other discussion.
He's recovering from an Achilles. Do you, who is the Aaron Rodgers expert, do you believe that that's you really think that he wants this team to win?
I think he wants them to succeed enough so they win some games and Jordan gets to have some success, but he does not want Brian Gutekunst to ever get a Super Bowl ring. And if Brian Gutekunst gets fired, wait a minute. If Brian Gutekunst gets fired, and then Jordan Love can go and have success and make playoff runs and stuff like that, but not win a Super Bowl, I think he'd be perfectly happy. My point is that, and this I feel as someone who roots for people, right? As a quote-unquote not a fan, sometimes there are conflicting people on the same team that you want to see one person have success, but there's someone else that you don't want to see have success. And I would argue that that's where he's at because he likes Jordan. I
agree with that.
I can tell you that he cares about him. He I don't want to speak too much for Aaron Rodgers, but obviously he has an older brother and a younger brother. He is not connected to them. I do believe he relishes, whether it's Zach Wilson or Jordan Love or whoever else, I think there is a part of him that wants to be a good brother. And I think that's what he was doing for Jordan. And whether or not he wants Jordan to have enough success so Goody can keep getting extensions and keep his job, I'm not sure about that. I don't think he's filled with anger or hatred for his head coach. I don't think he thinks as highly of his head coach as you would like him to think of him. But, again, I think the only guy that he really can't stand, or maybe two, would be Murphy and Goody. So, do you root against that organization just because you can't stand the GM? Or what about the other people that are there?
That's what I'm asking you. That's the question.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
It seems tough to me. So, you want this half measure of, I want them to have just enough failure so Goody gets fired and Jordan keeps his gig and then he can succeed after Goody's gone. That's how I would do it if I was him. That's how I would root. All I know is that for all the folks that are so fired up and frustrated and ready to now write Jordan Love off after 5 starts, after we were ready to say, I heard Terry Bradshaw, they got another one, 3 in a row. Get out of here, Terry. Come on, after 2 games. I don't love the fact that now the pendulum has swung.
Well, I guess the question is, what do you want people to do then?
Keep calm and carry on. Like the British poster. Relax.
That's not what fans do.
Some fans do. Maybe not the ones that... You don't really believe that.
I think fans ride the wave. No, I do. And I'm fine. I think it's great. That's why we love it. So you can be, he's awesome this week. And when you have as much unknown as that, you continue to ride it. I don't think Jordan Love has earned the benefit of the doubt yet. And I think he also hasn't really earned the fact that he stinks. It's been a little bit of both.
Can we say that he won't get an extension during this season yet?
No, I still think he might.
Okay. So how do you view that as a possibility?
I view that I already think they look at him and are pleasantly surprised at how he's approaching it, his work ethic. I think there's a ton of things they love about him. And if he can string together, I said Thanksgiving, and that's getting closer than I'd like. You're getting to be almost a month out only. Maybe it'll be a little bit later, but I think the worst thing, and we said this all offseason, the worst thing to happen is to be in a Daniel Jones situation where they don't want to franchise tag him. They should be begging to pay him top dollar because he's been that good. He's not there.
Yeah, he's not.
Right now we're in that middle ground, and you need to get some type of certainty through. Mark Murphy said 8 weeks. Because you have to understand,
he was
it
wrong.
isn't just 8 weeks. It's 3 years prior to. Yeah. Where has he started from to where has he grown to? And if that's the case, then you put that in the bank too when you're trying to figure out what decisions we're going to make. They love that side of him. There's not a doubt in my mind. But is he going to be good enough to be paid and take up the cap space that they're going to have to do? That's the balancing act. And if they can get him at the same type of price as Daniel Jones, are they going to do it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
If they're not going to do that, then that's your answer, Jason.
Right, but we don't have enough data yet. I want to let's talk more about this next, because I vehemently disagree. I don't think he's getting I don't think he's getting a contract this season. I think they have set this up so they have flexibility next year, that if things are not going significantly better next year, they can just move on from him.
But that's what they want. You know what they wanted too, in a perfect world, was to win and keep having Aaron Rodgers the quarterback and just keep dragging Jordan along until he made that article with you and demanded a trade.
That's fair.
And force the issue. Why would Jordan Love, if he has let's say it's just a solid season, quarterbacks are like coaches. They don't go into lame duck years.
Yeah,
they don't do it.
We'll discuss this more coming up. Want to remind you, Gruber Offices is always there. David and his team have been great to Paul and the girls and I. He's become a good friend of ours. And we haven't needed his legal expertise when it comes to a serious injury suffered in an accident. But it's great to know that he's there, and his entire staff is there. And all you need is one call, that's all. 414-276-6666. Don't minimize that. The one call means that you don't have to worry anymore. It just starts the ball rolling, though, for them to make sure that you're taken care of. 414-276-6666. One call, that's all. Or go online, gruber-law.com. Find out more about the firm, about all the work they've done, both in the community and for their clients. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. More next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every U. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
A huge congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, which is actually the entire Divine Savior Holy Angels girls golf squad. DSHA came from behind last weekend to take home the WIAA State Girls Golf Tournament Division I Championship. In fact, in a post-tournament comment, Dasher senior golfer Kate Kruger credited Irish Challenge coins as somewhat of a lucky charm in their victory. Not to be lost, however, Kruger did perform extremely well down the stretch at University Ridge. She went birdie, par, birdie to make sure they held on for the title. Congratulations to the entire Divine Savior Holy Angels girls golf squad on their state title, and good luck next season.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Broommate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
What do you do if you're a head coach and you think a player is not your guy? Do you try to make him into your guy, or do you try to expose that he's not your guy?
Ooh, so you're saying that Sean Payton could be calling the code red on Russell Wilson?
I'm not saying it that way necessarily. I'm saying, did he make up day one of training camp? That ain't for me. And now I'm going to show my bosses why that ain't for me. Or is it that ain't for me, and I'm going to now turn this guy around, break him down to build him back up, and he's going to be for me. I'm not suggesting they're tanking or anything like that with Russell Wilson.
Oh, wait a minute. I am. I'm suggesting they're tanking. I mean, listen, they shipped off Randy Gregory last week. Jerry Jeudy is not far out of the door. You saw what happened with him last night. So I think Sean is stripping this thing down before our eyes. And if Russell Wilson happens to be the fallout and his career mortality as a starter in this league is in jeopardy because of it, then so be it.
At the Home Depot, Saturdays are about two things. Easy cleanup with the Ryobi 18-volt ONE+ Whisper Series leaf blower and football. That's right, Reese Davis. With variable speed, it has the power for when you really need it and just the right amount when you don't. And the OnePlus battery platform means you go from yard work to DIY in just a click, so you can get projects done faster.
Which means more time for football.
For football. Upgrade your Saturday with Ryobi and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
This is Buster Olney, host of the Baseball Tonight podcast, inviting you to join us. We go 3 days a week with great guests from players such as Mike Trout and Carlos Correa, managers like Dusty Baker and Dave Roberts, general managers like Brian Cashman and Alex Anthopoulos, and our regulars, Tim Kirkchin, Sarah Langs, Jeff Pass, and Carl Ravitch. Baseball is a great fishbowl of humanity, and we go big game fishing every day. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Bring friends and watch your favorite team compete on big screens. Grab game day eats in T. McSee's Sports Bar or celebrate your team's victory in Horizon's Steakhouse. To book your game time at the Island Resort and Casino, call 800-682-6040 today.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Tito's Handmade Vodka, America's original craft vodka produced in Austin, Texas, and naturally gluten-free. Tito's Handmade Vodka.
Applause, I live for the applause, applause, live for the applause, applause, live for the way that you cheer and scream for me. The applause, applause, applause. Give me the feeling of love.
We've got one of our all-time favorite humans, and Tausch, I'm not overusing that when it comes to Jerry Kramer.
I would hope not.
No, we love Jerry. And he and his co-author, Bob Fox, will join us coming up next. Talk a little bit about their new book. Jerry's a more prolific writer than I am. And I'm sure his books have sold a lot better than the one half book that I helped.
How many books have you done so far?
Well, one officially, and I only did half of it. It did not sell well. The pandemic, I blame. And then the book that Sarah put together of your football career.
That doesn't count. That's not been published. You need to get the Dick Bennett book done. You need to figure out a way. Get up there
to the Palouse.
If he's out at the Palouse, or if he's up at
the Nakusa Palooza.
If he's in the Nakusa Palooza, you need to get up there and convince him, because that book will sell big time. Because Dick Bennett is a savant.
All right, I will. I'm going to call him today.
Are you?
I am.
Okay.
I'm going to say Tausch
Jesse,
mentioned.
hold his feet to the fire on this.
Well, I was about to. So I'm a published author. Jason's a published author. Have you written anything? Are you a published author?
I am an
Can't
audio
even post a poll.
I'm an audio guy.
Huh.
So before we get to Bob and Jerry, not to be confused with Tom and Jerry, the idea that the Packers did this half measure with this contract with Jordan Love, I don't want to go so far as to say I don't see any way that they sign him to an extension this year. Because if he comes back after the bye and lights the world on fire, and you want to get him at a discounted rate because he's been so awesome before his price tag goes up even further, to me, the whole point of not giving him the fifth-year option and getting him, and he understood that he didn't have a whole lot of leverage to sign this half measure of a contract, was to be able to get into 8 games of next season, and then you know whether you want him or not. And then you start talking big time, all right, we want an extension with you, you're the guy, or we're still not so sure. And you seem to think that they know for sure he's the guy, and I don't know if I believe that.
If they don't know, obviously things change quickly. But right now, if Jordan Love's representatives go to Mark Murphy and Russ Ball, and they say Daniel Jones' contract is below market value, this is your shot. 4 years, $160 million, half of it's guaranteed. You won't hear a peep from me if I overplay it. If I play better, we'll revisit it in 3 years. This is what I want. What do the Packers say?
No, let's see how it goes. And if you're better than that, then we'll pay you more, and we'll deal with the extra cost.
You understand the going rate for starting quarterbacks is like 53, 54, and it's only going to continue to climb as the cap goes?
Yeah, but the cap's going to keep going too.
That's my point. So it's only going to get more expensive.
Right, but you'll also have more cap room because...
But you'll have even more cap room. You could say, listen, you're going to make a bunch of money here. You're going to get another bite at it, and we're going to be able to build this young team to keep all these guys. If you go to that, if Jordan Love's rep says that, you think if Russ Ball and those guys say no, do they believe that they have the guy?
No,
that's
the point.
You're 4 years in, guys.
Right, barely playing. But do you think the Giants are happy that they paid Daniel Jones? Do you think they're any happier about that than they would have been had they... I guess they're happier than if they'd given the fifth-year option? I don't... the Giants, he didn't play last night. Tyrod Taylor started for them, and he didn't play.
Evan Cohen said something, and I crushed him on Thursday. So we're 2-2 on the season.
Ooh, I'm sorry I missed the fight.
He said, how many quarterbacks have you not signed to long-term extensions when they're available that have turned out to be really good? In essence, saying, you know or you don't know. There's no, in-between stuff. And if you're saying that right now the Green Bay Packers should not sign Jordan Love if it's at that discounted of a rate at $40 million a year?
That's not a discounted rate. They signed him at a discounted rate.
Jason, it's a discounted rate.
All right. Well, we'll continue this argument. I want to get to Jerry and Bob. I want to remind you, too, I was at Fleet Farm yesterday twice, and I got gas. We love having Fleet Farm as a partner, and I walked by Toyland. I didn't go in, but I walked by. It is now open, and with their price match guarantee at Fleet Farm, if you find a lower price on a toy, they'll beat it by 5%. You'll get the best price on their huge selection of toys at Fleet Farm. Plus, head on into Fleet Farm and check out the Fleety the Fleet Farm tractor and get your picture taken. Now, that sounds like fun. Save big during their truckload savings event as well. This weekend at Fleet Farm, they buy in bulk so you can then get the savings from them. Check out all their great deals on everyday essentials and stock up on all your favorites this weekend only at Fleet Farm. Find everything you need for your everyday life at Fleet Farm. Jerry Kramer joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
All right, Team Pella, listen up.
Thanks, John Kuhn. Customers love our products with limited lifetime warranties. Check out these big plays. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass.
No interference on that play, Coach.
And stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze.
Can it get any better?
It can. With monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and a free quote at PellaWI.com.
Let's go.
6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See show for details. Offers end 10/31/2023.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football season? Well, test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of statistics, and place your entry. It's as simple as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and an enormous selection of players and stat options are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million football fans who have already signed up. And right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/WI and use code WI. That's code WI at prizepicks.com/WI for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tausch here for my friends at Kohler Services. Have you been thinking of updating your bath or shower? Well, Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for 150 years. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
What does the skeleton say before dinner? A bon appetit. And why did the ghost go to the bar? For the booze. Yeah, Halloween jokes can be corny. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Since 1960, we've provided the most spooktacular selection and savings in town. From skull-shaped vodka bottles and pumpkin cream liqueurs to adult trick-or-treat bags and your favorite seasonal wines and beers. We've got the spirits to get you in the spirit. Combine our selection with everyday low prices and 2 convenient locations, and Discount Liquor is the one trick-or-treat stop you can't skip. Discount Liquor, locally owned and family operated with 2 locations, in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow in Maine. See all of our specials at DiscountLiquorInc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Bucks basketball is back. A new era tips off with Coach Griffin at the helm, alongside returning favorites and exciting new additions. It's Dame time, Milwaukee. Don't miss a moment of the action. From the electrifying slam dunks to the roar of 18,000 fans, all unfolding live at Pfizer Forum. Secure your seats now. Visit Bucks.com/tickets and join us for an unforgettable season of Bucks basketball. There's a seat waiting for you at Pfizer Forum. Secure yours now at Bucks.com/tickets.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Like a swinging vine, swing my heart across the line. In my face is flashing signs. Seek it out and ye shall find. Old, but I'm not that old. Young, but I'm not that bold. And I don't think the world is sold. I'm just doing what we're told.
So Tausch has been known to tease me for overusing my one of our favorite humans phrase.
Who do you all have in that category besides Jerry?
I know a lot of humans, and there's a lot of them that I.
So who's your top 5?
Well, Dick Bennett's on the list.
Okay. Sophia, because you say it every time she's on.
She's like my little sister that she didn't want to be.
Bulaga, I think you put on there.
We love Bulaga, yeah, for sure.
So you got 3. Jerry's on there, right?
It's still an exclusive club.
Okay,
but there are a lot of people that I really like. I'm lucky. I got a lot of people that I really like, including you. And I would argue that we're a pretty good duo. I mean, on our best days. On our not-so-good days, not as great of a duo. This is a pretty good duo, too, though, because Bob Fox has been writing about the Lombardi era and the Packers as a whole for a really long time, and he is with one of our favorite humans today. The book is called Run to Win. My Packers Life from Lombardi to Canton. And joining us now, Bob Fox and our good friend Jerry Kramer. Gentlemen, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great.
All right, so Jerry, I'm looking back on my bookshelf behind me in our radio studio. I've got instant replay. I've got distant replay. I've got a coffee table photo book that your son, I believe, did, correct?
Correct.
And now I need to add Run to Win to my Kramer library. Tell us a little bit about this book and how can I become as prolific of a writer as you have been during your 80-plus years?
Well, Dick Sapp called me one day, and he said, you want to do a book? And I said, what do you mean, do a book? He said, write a book. I said, what do I know about writing a book? He said, well, we'll work together, and I'll just kind of edit the book as we go along, and you report your day-to-day activities and observations and people around you. And we went into that for about 15 minutes, and I said, who gets final say? And he said, you do. I said, let's talk. So he came to Green Bay, and we talked and talked and talked. And at first, I would want to say something to somebody, and Dick would edit it. And he'd change 4 or 5 things, and maybe the next time 3 or 4 things, and the next times a couple things, and the next times it went out just the way it was. So I got thinking more like Dick than Dick thinking more like me. But he was a great pal. And Mr. Fox, he wants me to call him Mr. So Mr. Fox is...
Tausch demands the same thing of me from time to time.
I would have thought you'd have called him Foxy, but that's just me.
I do call him Foxy on days when I'm feeling good and kind of pert. And Bob took Mr. Schaap's position, and I believe is a great human being and has done a heck of a job of keeping me on track.
All right, so Bob, explain to us your role in this book and what people can look forward to. It's on Amazon. It's everywhere. You can get it both in the Kindle version and you can get the hardcover. But take us a little through your writing process and what it was like. You've known Jerry for a long time, but what was it like to work with him on the book?
Well, I'll tell you, first of all, speaking of Dick Schaap, there's a chapter in the book just about Dick. So readers can get ready for that if they haven't gotten the book yet. We want to make sure we talked about Dick. Plus, Jeremy Schaap, Dick's son, does the foreword in the book. So we still have the Schaap connection, so to speak, in this book. But, Jerry, I was like everybody else growing up in the 60s, or not everybody, but people my age. And I loved instant replay, became a big fan of Jerry's. And then I was waiting for him to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he had been, I believe, a 9-time finalist, but had never been inducted. And I met Jerry just prior to Super Bowl 25 in Tampa at a golf outing, and I saw him there, and I showed him a letter I had written to Packer Report about why he deserved to be inducted. Jerry looked at the letter, was touched by the letter, and we both figured, it'd be any day now or any year now. And little did we know it'd be 27 years later before it finally happened. By the way, that same year, 2018, Mr. Tausch was inducted into the Packers Hall of Fame. So that was a good year for both Tausch and Jerry. But anyway, the process started when I got to Packer Report. I actually became a writer there in Bleacher Report, etc. Wrote a lot of articles about Jerry and his omission from the Pro Football Hall of Fame and other stories about Lombardi and other teammates, etc. And after a while, Jerry said to me, you probably have something, we could probably put a book together with all the stories you've done. I said, yep, I believe we can. And so we kept working on it and thinking of different variations. We've added some things in the book that had never been written before about Jerry, and stories that people are going to really enjoy. And the support we've received from the Packers, Mark Murphy, and everybody else in their organization, and getting people like David Moranis to add a blurb or praise for Jerry, along with Bart Starr Jr., Vince Lombardi Jr. We got Bud Selig in there. It's just been a fantastic endeavor, and the support we've received has just been tremendous. But the big reason this book is going to be popular is because of the other guy on the line, and that's Jerry. He's such a great subject matter and just wonderful human being. I'm so glad to have got to know him.
Foxy, what is the biggest surprise?
He calls you Mr. Tauscher and you call him Foxy.
I think he likes Fox. Mr. Fox. What do you think? Because there's been so much written, and Jerry has been at all these events, and fans feel like they know him very well. What's the thing that surprised you most when you've been doing all this research about Jerry Kramer?
Well, first of all, and again, we met you at the Boys and Girls Club of Door County Golf Event. And since Jerry's been involved with that organization over the years, they've now raised $1.5 million for the Boys and Girls Club in Door County. But yeah, Jerry, I consider Jerry like my favorite uncle. At first, when I first talked to him, obviously you meet somebody for the first time or talk to somebody, there's a little hesitation. How's this guy going to react to me, et cetera? And it just became so natural from right out of the gate that we enjoyed each other's company, and we talked many times. A lot of times we'll talk for over an hour, and we won't even bring up the subject of football. We'll talk about just life, things about what's going on, weather, whatever the case may be. But it's just he's probably the best storyteller I've ever talked to. And for instance, and I know the weather we've had in Wisconsin past couple of days, we've had 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. We have a summer home right here in Lake Michigan in Cedar Grove, and I couldn't believe it. We had 48 hours of wind gusts, like incredible. And then I was thinking about Jerry in the 62 championship game against the Giants at Yankee Stadium, where he kicked, besides playing right guard in that game and playing well, he kicked 3 field goals in 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts at Yankee Stadium, and he basically was the reason the Packers won that game.
I like the description of him being your favorite uncle. I believe in the many times that we've had Jerry on the show, he was one of my top draft picks for if you could pick your grandpa, he would be the guy. Jerry, it has been a while. We had John in a lot early in the history of our show, and then leading into the Hall of Fame selection, and then after you got in, and then we've kind of Tausch has seen you at events, and I've seen you at events, but we've kind of left you alone because we were bothering you so often. How different is life now as a Hall of Famer than it was while we were all in agreement that you were the biggest omission, and Rick Gosselin agreed with us, that you were the biggest omission from the Hall for a very long time. How is it different now for you?
I guess there's a bit of serenity, peace, mild emotions, comfortable. I look back on my life in the books, and mostly our books are about off-the-field stories that I've enjoyed, and the celebrity world kind of opened up to me a little bit and after our 3rd consecutive championship and the 2 Super Bowls and all of that. And so I had some great times. One of my favorite stories, I'll tell it quick, is I was Rod McEwen was a poet, and he did a foreword for one of my books and wrote a poem about me. And my wife and I went to see him at a show in Chicago and met him and got acquainted a little bit. And we went to Palm Springs to hang out for a little bit. I think we were playing in a golf outing, and I'm having dinner with Rod, and he said, "Hey, Jerry, Frank Sinatra is doing a double album of my songs tonight, right now, at a recording studio. Would you like to go hear him record?" And I said, "I'd love to. One of my favorite people. Absolutely. That'd be a kick. Wow." So we get over to the studio, and Frank is on the stage, and he's singing a song called "Two Can Dream a Dream Together." And he's going, "Two can dream a dream together. Two can dream a dream together. Two can dream a dream together." And I think he's beating it a little bit, right? And so I give him a little tip. This is how arrogant I was. I love it. But I said, "Frank, you got to lighten up on that song. Two can dream a dream together. That's a beautiful thought, and you're beating the hell out of it. You got to lighten up." And he looks at me and he goes, "What?" And I said, "That's the song you're singing. That's a beautiful thought. You got." And he puts his right hand out and makes a circular motion in front of my face for about 30 seconds and erased me. Just flat removed me from the premises. And I started thinking later, what the hell do you think you were doing giving Sinatra a tip? Well, I like Sinatra. I love Sinatra. I just thought maybe he needed a little tip on that one. So that was a great meeting. And I played in his tournament in Palm Springs a couple years later, and we had a bit of a giggle over it. But those kind of things were kind of natural to come by, to try to help out. I love to play in the golf tournaments for kids and the military. And those are my two favorite charities. So that was an interesting day.
Jerry, did you get any tips from Sinatra on like zone blocking or how to pull on that Packer sweep?
No, he didn't offer any tips at all. I don't know. I'm sure he wanted to, and he was excited to meet me. And he probably was just a little shy.
I'm sure that's what it was.
That is great. Jerry, everybody is always fascinated when you tell your stories. When we see the picture with you carrying Lombardi off. And I guess you've told a ton of stories. Is there anything new in your new book that maybe will even shed more light on that relationship that I think Packer fans just can't get enough of?
Well, I don't believe I've exposed the Bubba Smith story too much, but we were playing in the college all-star game in Chicago, and the Tribune was a sponsor of the game. And the day of the game, we got up on like Saturday morning. We're playing that afternoon, and I get the newspaper, turn to the back page, and the whole page, top to bottom, the full page, wide open, was a picture of Bubba. Now, Bubba was 6'8" and about 280, somewhere in that neighborhood, a big boy. And I'm looking at that, and the caption under the photo says, "Come see Bubba kill Bart." And I go, wow. I mean, if he falls on Bart, he's going to look like a champ. I mean, I got to be perfect. I can't let anything happen out there with him. So I'm stewing over it. And the game starts, and I'm okay the first quarter. He's, for a big man, he's a lot faster, quick-footed than I thought he would be. And he gets by me somewhere around the second quarter, and he gets on Bart, and he tells Bart, he said, "All night long, old man, all night long, Bubba gonna be here on top of you." And he lets Bart up, and Bart comes to me and tells me what he said. He said, "Get in the huddle." And so we get in the huddle, and he looks at me, and he said, "What do you want?" I said, "What do you mean, what do I want?" "Call a play. What do you want?" And I had never called a play, and we had never rehearsed a play. And even in eighth grade, I hadn't called any plays, right? So I looked at Bart a little bit, and I'm going, well, hell, let's trap him. So I had Fuzzy trap him. Then I double-teamed him with Forrest. Then I called about 6 or 7 plays, which Mark will be amazed at, I think. And
he's just jealous that he never got to call plays.
Fair.
Every play gained about 6 or 7 yards, right? And so we move across field down to the 40, down to the 35, and I trap him again, and Bubba gets up and he takes off his hat and he starts patting himself on the head, and he takes himself out of the game. So that was my story on Bubba. It was an interesting afternoon and quite a different outcome of, from things normal.
Talking with Jerry Kramer and Bob Fox. The book, again, is Run to Win, My Packers Life from Lombardi to Canton. You can find it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and everywhere you might want to find it. I think if Jerry Kramer is willing to give singing pointers to someone as great as Frank Sinatra, I think we should probably bring him back when you do your headlines on Friday.
I was actually wondering if I couldn't send him some lyrics and have Jerry sing our headlines with Jordan Love.
We'll work on that.
I know he's busy, so I don't know, but we might do that.
The blurb at the top of the front cover of this book that Bob Fox mentioned is from David Marinus, who did When Pride Still Mattered. And the quote is, Jerry Kramer is the Renaissance man of the glory years Green Bay teams. And we've called him a Renaissance man on this show many times. He definitely is that. All right, Jerry, one thing before we let you guys go, because I know you got more promotion to do for the book, and we're thankful for your time. You are obviously a patient man waiting for your call to Canton, so you have patience in you somewhere. We have been struggling discussing the 2023 Packers and the youth movement that they have and an inexperienced quarterback. I know you had relationships with the previous 2 Pro Football Hall of Fame level quarterbacks. It's going to be an up and down time for Jordan Love. As a guy with so much knowledge of football and Packers history and everything else, what is your advice for Packers fans today as we navigate the early portions of the Jordan Love era?
You know, Jordan Love has shown some brilliance in the few games that we've had so far. Not for the whole game, but for 5 minutes at a time, maybe for 15 minutes at a time. There's a spark there that is capable of being what we hope he will be. Another Brett, another Bart, another Aaron. He has the potential. He has the capability of doing that. He's not consistent right now, and the people he's playing with are not consistent right now. So a little more time and a little more familiarity with the guys, working with them and getting to know their favorite move and their favorite patterns. I think he will work himself into the job, and I think he can take care of the position. So I think we have to start thinking about focusing on another aspect of the team. Jordan's going to take a little while, not Jordan himself, but Jordan and his relationship with the team, and how this guy loves the in pattern and that guy loves the jog and go, and getting familiar to an intimate relationship with every team member he has on the field with him. And I think he will come along, and and he has to, if we're going to have a football team that can play big time, that can be in the playoffs, can go to the big dance. So I like him a lot, and I'm just thinking that he's going to settle down, and the team is going to settle down around him, and we're going to have some fun with him.
Jerry, we know that you maintain, even now, a busy schedule, and anytime you fit us into it, we always appreciate it. We love you around here, and we love when we get to spend time with you. We're excited for the latest book. It will be added to my bookshelf. By the way, there are more books that Jerry has done that I didn't even mention. So if you want to get the whole collection, get to work on Amazon.com or elsewhere. Both of you, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us on.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it. And Mark, great to hear your voice and be on your show and be with you guys. Thank you.
We appreciate it, fellas.
All right, and Tausch will be reaching out for those singing pointers a little bit later in the week. All right. We always love it when we have Jerry with us. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you. Ah, fall, a time for sweaters, for hot chocolate, for apple picking, and for red-hot action on the diamond.
That one back towards the wall. That one is gone.
Catch playoff baseball all fall long right here on 94.5 ESPN.
Young, what a play by Young. To second for one. They get a double play.
Major League Baseball on ESPN Milwaukee is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free consultation at PellaWI.com/radio. UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every U. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
A huge congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, which is actually the entire Divine Savior Holy Angels girls golf squad. DSHA came from behind last weekend to take home the WIAA State Girls Golf Tournament Division I Championship. In fact, in a post-tournament comment, Dasher senior golfer Kate Kruger credited Irish Challenge coins as somewhat of a lucky charm in their victory. Not to be lost, however, Kruger did perform extremely well down the stretch at University Ridge. She went birdie, par, birdie to make sure they held on for the title. Congratulations to the entire Divine Savior Holy Angels girls golf squad on their state title, and good luck next season.
I'm living the life that I lived before I started having knee pain 10 years ago.
Meet Julie, a woman who makes the most of every moment in life. But over the last years, those moments were filled with agonizing pain until she discovered QC Kinetics.
Finally, the pain got so bad that people around me are like, oh, when are you getting your knee replaced? I was walking, hobbling. I listened to my last QC Kinetics commercial and I said, I'm done. I got to find out about this.
What Julie found out was QC Kinetics treats osteoarthritis with regenerative therapies, taking your body's own healing properties and concentrating them in the areas where you feel pain, helping heal and restore those damaged areas. No harmful steroids, surgery, or downtime.
It changed how I'm living. I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
Get back your life before the pain. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Haul away big savings this weekend at Fleet Farm's Truckload Savings Event. Like 40-pound bags of Superior Hardwood Fuel Pellets, 2 for $11. Morton Clean and Protect Water Softener Pellets are only $5.89 a bag. Save on 40 pounds of black oil sunflower seed, just $18.99. And get a free $15 Fleet Farm gift card with select Science Diet pet food. Stock up on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
This is a year of change for Wisconsin football. Whether it's a new quarterback or coach, our teams will be exciting to watch this season. As Wisconsin's 3PL, Evans Transportation knows a thing or two about changing things up when it comes to manufacturers' accounting, shipping, and tracking needs. Call Evans if your supply chain team isn't running on all cylinders this season. Good luck to our Wisconsin football teams from Wisconsin's 3PL in Delafield. Find them at evanstrans.com. That's evanstrans.com.
Here in Wisconsin, a good old-fashioned is an important way of life. And that's where my friends at Perky's Old Fashioned come in. Hey, it's ESP Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel here to tell you about the easiest way to put together an old-fashioned. Perky's offers both brandy and bourbon old-fashioned mixes. And get this, the booze is already in there. Just add the soda of your choosing, and you'll have Grandma Perky's old-fashioned in the palm of your hand. Perky's is locally made and great for get-togethers of all kinds. Get perked up and head to perkysspirits.com for your nearest Perky's location.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
But it won't be for long, you'll see when I'm gone, I'm never really gone. You think you're moving on, but no one's gonna feel like thought it would be easy.
Thanks again to Jerry Kramer and Bob Fox for joining us. Again, the book is called Run to Win, My Packers Life from Lombardi to Canton. You can get that from Triumph Books, where you buy all your other books, including Amazon. I'm looking forward to his critique of your singing. If he's willing to critique Sinatra, he sure as heck is willing to critique you, and you guys are friends.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I would love to get him to sing like Love Shack or something like that with the lyrics that the Academy
Love Shack,
would put together.
Baby.
We'll put that out there. But and I've heard Pat Richter tell this story too. You think now, nobody will play in a preseason game. They won't take a snap. They won't even sometimes practice. Can you imagine a day where all of these college all-stars that had just gotten drafted by these teams are going to play in an exhibition prior to the preseason to play against the defending Super Bowl champion team?
No, I can't.
What crazy world is that?
You know the world that is? That was the world where players were not empowered. Right?
Yeah,
there was no free agency.
No, I know.
There was none of that stuff. They were basically at the whim of the league and team owners.
Can you just imagine sitting here and telling Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce, yeah, you need to go and play all these young whippersnappers that we haven't signed new contracts yet.
Yeah, who don't want to play either.
It is just crazy. And the fact that it got as competitive as it did, they're playing into the fourth quarter. Jerry Kramer and Fuzzy Thurston are playing into the fourth quarter of an exhibition prior to the preseason against 20 and 21-year-old dudes trying to make the NFL.
A young Bubba Smith, long before the Police Academy films.
And Jerry's dialing up power. And Forrest, come down here and help me double team this young kid. Show him what the NFL is about.
Yeah. Wild.
What a world.
Not exactly the Hula Bowl or the Shrine Bowl either. Tausch, there's not many people in our sphere that we would raise a glass of Tito's higher to than our friend Jerry Kramer.
No, we wouldn't. And you can take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure that you have the best tailgate on the block. You could win game day gear for your next gathering simply by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate Back Tap for batched cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. You must be 21 to enter. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Who do you think was a bigger deal, Frank Sinatra in Jerry Kramer's day or Taylor Swift today?
Good parallels.
Sinatra.
Like, you think if Mahomes goes to, like, Taylor Swift putting on, like, a practice show and starts telling her how to sing, that's the equivalent of Jerry in a private show with Sinatra?
It's a great question. I think it's still Sinatra.
Sinatra was, like, he was the guy, right? Like, he was number one
the
forever.
Rat Pack. Yeah.
I just imagine. I love the fact that normally I'd hear that story, I'd be like, you're full of baloney. I firmly believe that's exactly what Jerry Kramer did.
Yeah. Yep. I love that they became friends later, too, and he would go to his golf outing and they would laugh about it because that takes some guts, but that's what Jerry...
And I guarantee you, Sinatra's probably like afterwards, like, I can't believe... Who the blank
Who
is
was that guy?
But you look at that, you say, yeah, I respect that. Because you got everybody always saying how great you are.
Yeah,
and old boy comes and says, nah, I think you got to lighten up, Frankie.
Tausch just read about Tito's Take It to the House. We'll play a little Take It to the Bank, presented by Associated Bank, to kick off the 11 o'clock hour. That happens in 2 minutes. Stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Hey, folks, if you're like me, this is your favorite time of the year. Not only is it football season, it's Chevy truck season, too. You can go from watching great tackles on the gridiron to tackling any challenge that comes your way with the strength, trailering, and off-road capability of the powerful Chevy Silverado. So don't miss Chevy truck season and take advantage of exciting offers available right now. See your local Chevy dealer and visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality Men's Health. Guys, did you know that the stored belly fat reduces your free testosterone? The more the belly grows, the harder it is to drop, mostly because of the decrease in free T. It's a vicious cycle that men are losing, and unfortunately, everyone can see it. Mentality breaks that cycle with semaglutide, an industry-changing weight loss medication that can help you lose up to 15% of your body weight while preserving your testosterone. Join our over 20,000 clients to look and feel the way you deserve. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Sharp Literacy's A Novel event is coming. Join Sharp Literacy and special guest A.J. Dillon on Monday, November 6th at the Eagles Ballroom for a night of conversation, an auction, awards, and a variety of food stations. The Green Bay running back is also the author of Quadzilla Finds His Footing, an uplifting children's book about perseverance. Funds raised at A Novel event will support Sharp's STEAM-based education programs in the state. For tickets and information, visit sharpliteracy.org. A Novel event, Monday, November 6th at the Eagles Ballroom.
Heading up north for some golf? Be sure to book a tee time at the Ball Golf Course, an Arnold Palmer masterpiece just north of Milwaukee on the way to Kohler. It's the best destination for your next Wisconsin round of golf. Enjoy golf. Enjoy the bog.
What is dedication?
People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike and you didn't? I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Brad Nortman here. Catch me on KBN, weekdays from 2 to 5. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down on my last breath. Even when they say there's nothing left. So don't give up on. I'm not giving up, no, not me. Even when nobody else believes. I'm not going down.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch, which will include trivia and Whoa Nelly. But first it's time. When's the last time we played this? To Take It to the Bank with Associated Bank.
Love Take It to the Bank, presented by Associated Bank. Jason, we had some fun conversations when you were gone on Thursday and Friday. So I wanted to pick your brain a little bit, take it to the bank, or not, based on some of the conversation Tausch and I had while you were gone. First, take it to the bank. The NFL trade deadline on Halloween, October 31st. Take it to the bank. The Packers will not make a trade of any kind before the NFL trade deadline. Should we let Jason go first, or should we let Tausch go first?
No, I'll be happy to answer. I'm curious, though, if these were topics that were discussed amongst you. Did Tausch?
I don't remember.
Did Tausch say that he thinks they're going to... I heard a rumor that the big fella said that he thought the Packers were going to be buyers at the trade deadline. Is that true?
No, I didn't say that. I said if they're going to boot a Baker, it has to be someone. There's no reason to buy for short term, but if you can address a position long term for somebody else, because there are so many teams that are going to be dumping players, I want Buda Baker, is what I said. And no, I don't want anyone that is this season out. This season's about growth.
Yeah.
It's about that. Okay. So, no, Buda Baker's the only person that I said I would be interested in.
Tausch did say he would field calls on Keyshawn Nixon.
That actually is not true either. What I said was don't be surprised if you're going to start looking at trading some players. Who's on a one-year deal? Who is a position that all of a sudden you feel a lot better about your return game with Jaden Reed? Keyshawn Nixon, if you need a return guy and a slot guy, that would be somebody I would look at. And if I'm the Packers, I would be open to getting some assets back for him. That's what I said, Jesse. Not
so you
need to trade Keyshawn. No, it's not
you
what
would
I said.
take a call. You would answer the phone.
I'm taking a call on everybody.
All right, so I'm going to take this to the bank, first of all. I do not think they're going to make a move at the trade deadline. Now, I thought it was weird last year that they were a team that thought, they needed a veteran receiver. They had hit some hard times, but that they were in on the Chase Claypool trade, which thankfully for them that didn't happen. But the Bears, that trade never made sense to me. Like, I didn't understand what the Bears were doing there.
They wanted to get a young, talented receiver, cheap. They didn't get him cheap. That would grow with Justin Fields. That was their thought.
Yeah. And it turned out that he was a problem for them. And to your point, you always wonder when a guy's on his rookie contract, you're pushing him out the door.
Bring your own awareness. If somebody offers a number one pick for Christian Watson, are you taking it?
A first-round pick?
That's what I said.
Well, you said number one. Yes, I am. Are you?
No.
Why not?
I like him too much.
First round pick. I'm
too
taking
much talent.
First round pick. I am taking the trade. If anything else, no. And frankly, it's not because I don't think he's talented. I am nervous about his durability long term. That's all. What about if the Broncos call and offer you Jerry Jeudy for a 6th round pick?
That's why we were talking about it. I said no way. BYOB. No.
To the nth degree.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Next.
I'm going to read this sentence for you, Jason. and you let me know how you're going to answer the question. Take it to the bank. I'm not sure Jordan Love is better than expected, but he's definitely not worse than expected coming into this season.
What's the genesis of this sentence?
We polled this on Thursday, and we took some calls for a majority of about half the show, I'd say.
And the consensus was?
As expected is where many people landed, although getting there was higher ups and lower lows than what I think some anticipated for Jordan Love so far this season.
Sounds like you had some astute callers while I was gone. Yeah, he has definitely not been worse than I expected. And the first game went better than I expected it to. And then the last four have shown the things that I was anticipating. So he's definitely not worse. He has been slightly better still on balance. And we're facing a pretty critical series of games here where I would like to see more growth and less inconsistency. The Broncos game, Tausch, I don't want to put too much into it, but I do think that this is an important game for his development. And it's an important game for the head coach to have answers for him to make his game better by how he's calling plays and the plays that he's selecting and the design of plays and guys being open. Would you take that to the bank?
Why is that more important than what we just saw against the Raiders? And when I was all pissed off about how we played, you said slow down.
Because, right, I understand that. But because you're coming off a bye.
You're coming off a mini bye that game.
No, okay. You're coming off a bad performance, so I want to find out how you bounce back from that.
You didn't play very well against Detroit either. You get what I'm saying, though? I understand because Denver hasn't been very good. I get what you're saying. But it literally is the exact same thing.
No. All right. First of all, I said a series of games. So here is the schedule for the next 4 weeks. Of a bad Broncos team on the road.
True road game, probably.
The Vikings at home without their top target. Also, apparently Kirk Cousins putting the kibosh on your plans for him to be traded.
We'll see about that.
Not inclined to waive his no-trade clause. That's not the same as saying no.
No. If the right scenario pops up, he'll be, I think, very open.
Sounds like what someone who's about to be traded would say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A home game against the Rams that I'm still not exactly sure what they are.
Better than I thought. I give them credit. Yeah. They're better.
And then at Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's offense is god-awful, too.
Yeah, well, so are the Raiders.
Offenses in the NFL. A lot of bad offenses.
Yep. I just think this is going to be an interesting 4-game stretch post-bye. Do they take the lessons of the lumps they've taken in 3 of their last 4 games? Are they going to do something about it, and are they going to make it better for Jordan Love to be productive? And is Jordan going to seize those opportunities if Matt LaFleur puts him in better situations? These are all things I'm excited for the next 4 games to find out more.
I think we all are, and I think the thing that you left out of that equation, that why I think this is even more critical than the Raiders game, is you're going to have Aaron Jones back healthy, hopefully.
Yeah.
That takes away a lot of the, well, what can we do in this and this and this? I think it's more, it's obviously important, this game, because of Denver, and I think from a fan base standpoint, but if you're going to stick with the patience and growing pains, this isn't that big a deal. This game coming up is not that big a deal.
It's a big deal for finding out more about them, and that's what I want to do. Next.
Last one. Jason, take it to the bank. No gas station would ever sell a card that allows you to lock in a specific price you pay for a gallon of gas for 30 days.
It's 20 days, but
I'm gonna need some background on this one before I answer.
Tausch wants to revolutionize the gas buying process.
I was on a text chain that involved this topic. I believe Josh DiMaggio was a bit of a skeptic about this concept. Let me just say this. As someone who drives a lot, and a family that drives a lot, because Paula does a lot of the driving too, a good chunk of our income has been going to gas stations with the ballet pursuits of our eldest daughter, including the Nutcracker. We're driving a lot. I do not like being held prisoner to the fluctuating gas prices. I think with my 4 cents off coupon yesterday at Fleet Farm, I paid $3.10. I'm happy at $3.10. We get to like $3.39, $3.49, I start getting ticked off. And there's nothing, I'm at their whim. So I don't think gas stations are particularly interested in doing this. But if they said right now to me, you can lock in at $3.10 for the next 30 days, I'm in. Now, I guess I don't know, though, do I have to pay for this card?
It's
Is there a
paid
fee?
for up front. Yeah.
Well, wait, so I'm buying my gas, or...
Yeah, you're buying the gas at that
Like,
price.
there's not a fee for the card, because that would increase the price per gallon then, because I'd have to factor in the fee that I'm paying.
No, it's you're basically gambling on gas prices. So is the gas station.
So I'm not confident that we're going to get much lower than $3.10.
No, I don't think there's any way we're going to get much lower than that. That's what sprung me to say this.
Yeah.
And a matter of fact,
up.
during the heat of the pandemic, when I saw gas was at 99 cents,
yeah.
I thought, let us buy for 5 years at this. And you can do it
storage.
with oil barrels and everything else. So Jesse came up with the term fan fuel, which was great. And then he was, the entire time, you can't do 30-day specials. Nobody does that. And I literally did 7 reads in a row where there's 30-day specials. But you can't do it because it's a gas station. And then there's a lost leader and all this other stuff. You can do it. Now, if somebody wants to do it, it's another thing.
So I guess my question, though, is from the gas station perspective, the gas conglomerate.
You are forcing people to come to your gas station. You have to go in and buy this other stuff at a not lost leader. Because who goes to a gas station and doesn't buy anything? You almost always get something. So you're getting that money, boom, right there. And it's only for 15 or 20 days. It's not like you can make this thing go for a year. You're now saying, I am buying $300 worth of gas. I have to come to your gas station in those 15 days. There's a value in that. Okay?
There is, but if gas jumps to like $3.69 a gallon, you're selling gas to me at my $3.10 for 60 cents less than you're selling it to everybody else. And if there's a lot of people that do that, don't you lose I don't know what the margins are for gas stations.
About $0.01 a gallon.
So that seems problematic for them.
Maybe.
Like they're gambling too, not just me.
Yes. That's how
but
the
don't
world
get
works.
flustered with me. I wasn't on the show. I'm just working my way through this.
I ain't flustered.
Really?
No. Well, you said when you gamble, there's not two sides. Yeah, that's how this world works. There is no sure things.
Let's take it to the bank. Presented by Associated Bank. There is a sure thing when it comes to Associated Bank, and that is you will get the best customer service in the industry, and you get great perks with Packers Checking. A bank that goes the extra yard, you got it. Show your love for the green and gold with Packers Checking only from Associated Bank. Make every transaction a touchdown with your Packers debit MasterCard. And when you use it at the Packers Pro Shop at the stadium or online, you'll get an extra 10% off. Associated Bank's Packers Checking scores the home field advantage by delivering Midwest-based customer care, outstanding value, and more. So get in the game and learn more today at associatedbank.com/Packers. Hey, let's
Jason,
play.
by the way, there's all these perks programs that give you 15, 20, 30% off, 30 cents off a gallon that find their way in. That would be a part of it, too. So this whole thing, well, you can't do it. Well, you can. You can.
So my recollection of that, I don't remember which gas station he was representing, but Joe Thomas was doing that for a while. He was promoting something. And, like, you got, like, 5 cents off a gallon.
Sure.
Like, the 4 cents off. You're not getting, like, 30 cents off a gallon every time.
But it could go the
you
other way, too.
Right, and I think we were joking about, like, Joe Thomas cleaning your windows when you went to the gas station.
No, we weren't joking. I literally had Joe fill up, and I didn't have him clean my windows. I should have, is what I'm saying.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
By the way, Annie had a jacket, so Joe got honored at the game, and Joe, of course, he hasn't taken that, what is it, mustard-colored Hall of Fame?
Gold jacket.
Gold jacket. He hasn't taken it off. Like, every time I see him, we go out and grab a slice of pizza, he's wearing it. And he should. But Annie had this jacket, a Joe Thomas collector's item. Thomas on the back, bedazzled in what I think she wanted to be Wisconsin Badger, Cardinal, and red, but I think it was almost more Cleveland brown. And I sent Joe a note. That's more of I always think that might be better than the actual gold jacket that he's wearing.
All right, 2 questions. One, would Sarah wear such a thing for you?
She would, and I wouldn't like it.
And if the Packers Hall of Fame gave out green jackets...
I've actually talked to a couple of their board members, and I said, we should be wearing jackets when we're at... Just only there.
I'm totally on board
like a bedazzled, glittery green jacket, like the
like well, it doesn't even have to be green.
Mayor of Emerald City and
I
Wizard
think it
of
would be
Oz.
awesome to have a jacket.
And not be Junius Costin's cast-off. Crushed velvet purple.
That's Christmas season's coming.
All right, we need to play trivia. Jesse, I assume it's not Frank Sinatra trivia or sport coat trivia.
Nope, sports weekend recap on a Monday. The usual.
Caller 10, 844-770-3776. Caller 10 right now, 844-770-3776. We'll play trivia next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. 28 years on the Packers.
I would flat out cut his ass to send a message.
37 years playing in the NFL.
This is the best win in the Matt LaFleur era.
87 years covering the Packers.
And that's what happened in the fourth quarter. That's all. He has been really good.
And 46 years of being on ESPN.
I said to Herman Edwards one time, it's hard to win a game in the NFL. He said, John, it's hard to make a first down.
There's no place with more experience when it comes to talking about the green and gold. All day, every day. We are 94.5 ESPN.
A bank that goes the extra yard? You got it. Show your love for the green and gold with Packers checking only from Associated Bank. Make every transaction a touchdown with your Packers debit MasterCard. And when you use it at the Packers Pro Shop, at the stadium, or online, you'll get 10% off. Associated Bank's Packers checking scores the home field advantage by delivering Midwest-based customer care, outstanding value, and more. Get in the game and learn more today at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
A huge congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, which is actually the entire Divine Savior Holy Angels girls golf squad. DSHA came from behind last weekend to take home the WIAA State Girls Golf Tournament Division I Championship. In fact, in a post-tournament comment, Dasher senior golfer Kate Kruger credited Irish Challenge coins as somewhat of a lucky charm in their victory. Not to be lost, however, Kruger did perform extremely well down the stretch at University Ridge. She went birdie, par, birdie to make sure they held on for the title. Congratulations to the entire Divine Savior Holy Angels girls golf squad on their state title, and good luck next season.
If you can't get a good night's sleep, let me ask you, are you breathing well? Because if you're snoring or waking up each night with a stuffed up nose, or frustrated with your CPAP mask, the root of your sleep problem lies in your breathing triangle. And if any one of those passages isn't working, you won't sleep well, and there's no mattress, pill, or other gimmick that can fix that. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. A recipe for a good night's sleep starts with an open airway. Now, there are devices that can help solve snoring or sleep apnea problems. If you walk into a sleep center, know you'll walk out with a CPAP. And you might find other options elsewhere, but the simple truth is, if your nose doesn't work properly, no device will help. Only at Advent will you find every effective snoring and sleep apnea solution, along with a world-class team that can get your nose working properly again.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Advent knows.
Tired of power outages disrupting your life? Make them a thing of the past by getting a Generac home standby generator from Adams Generators. Adams Generators is the largest and #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. With 24/7 emergency support, our factory-trained technicians are standing by to assist you. Visit adamspower.com/generators to make sure your power always stays on. That's adamspower.com/generators.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
I'm okay. You say it, but you just don't mean it. You're so insane. You're so
Time for
insane.
trivia.
Shut up and just enjoy.
Let's welcome in our contestant. I want to know if this is his given name or if this is a nickname. A first-time contestant from the beautiful Mount Horeb Metroplex.
New Buck and Honey's out there in Mount Horeb.
Nice.
Undefeated football team out there in Mount Horeb.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's
What
not the
division?
Buck and Honey's where Jesse's mom left her purse, though.
No, it was a different
Different
restaurant
location.
that we didn't.
Yeah, it was very different.
What division is Mount Horeb?
I think they're D3. I was watching that bracket reveal
Can
show
someone
on
explain
Saturday
to me how
morning.
Wanakee is Division 2? That's another question I have to ask.
That is not a trivia question, though.
A lot of schools with high enrollment qualifying for the postseason.
Wanakee? Come on now.
Are you accusing the
I
Wanakee
think
Warriors
Wanakee
of
they were Division 1 last year.
their Division 2 this year?
You think Wanakee's gotten smaller? Come on now.
All right, we're losing
well, that's Mount
our
Horeb.
focus. I'm sorry that Ace lives in Mount Horeb and led to the conversation about Wanakee's placement in the WIAA
Well, I was
state high school
I was
football
legitimately shocked to see they were D2. That was all.
tournament. I sense that.
So
Ace,
where did we come down with Mount Horeb? Where are we at?
I'm finding it.
Jesse,
Maybe Ace knows.
you expect Jesse to have that information? that
Mount
quickly?
Horeb is a #1 seed, undefeated, 9-0 in Division 3.
Ooh, okay.
Yep. Vikings.
Jesse was right. Ace, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you guys?
How about those Vikings, huh?
Oh, what a season.
Hey, they're pretty good. I used to teach some of those guys, and they can play.
Who's Mount Horeb's big rival, Ace?
Wanakee. We hate the Wanakee. They don't like us either.
Well, good thing you don't
have to face them in the playoffs.
I guess. So
They both win state titles.
I don't know how
Division
they're
3, just so
Division
we know.
either. They're
All
like
right.
twice as big as us. I don't get that.
All right, well, here we go. Let's. We don't worry about
All right.
divisions here with trivia. We just want correct answers, except for Jesse, who wants wrong answers.
And then you got
go ahead.
Sun Prairie East is Division 2, but
And
Sun Prairie West is
Division
D1.
1. Yeah, the whole thing.
West
Somebody
just started last year. How'd that work?
Yeah, I don't know.
all right.
It's a great question. Jason, I don't have the question, so I'm going to have you.
Happy to do it. Happy to do it. All right, here we go. Ace, question 1. Which of these
Jason.
milestones was not achieved by a Wisconsin Badgers sports team this weekend? All right, which of these milestones was not achieved by a Badgers team this weekend? Was it women's hockey coach Mark Johnson getting career win number 600? Was it the volleyball team getting its 27th consecutive set win? Or was it the football team scoring a touchdown?
The football team did not score a touchdown.
Indeed, they did not.
Oh, boy.
I wonder if Tausch. I think Tausch lost his sheet on purpose. All right, question 2, Ace, as we roll on.
What a weekend, though.
Question 2, which opponent overcame a 29-0 deficit? Oh, this is unfortunate. To defeat the Deion Sanders-coached Colorado Buffaloes in overtime on Friday night. Was it Cal, Arizona, or Stanford?
That would be Stanford.
Indeed it was.
Gosh, they did a great skit on SNL about Deion Sanders.
Oh, it was good.
If you have not seen the skit,
really? I
don't watch the show, but I saw it on social media.
SNL had a good week.
It was really funny.
All right, I will check that out. All right, Ace. Question 3. As you try to ace trivia. Which of these... Yeah, that was low-hanging fruit, I believe Tausch would call that. Question 3. Which of these NFL teams currently has a record above 500? Above 500. Which of these teams with an above 500 record? The New Orleans Saints, the Cleveland Browns, or the Washington Commanders?
Well, the Saints are 3-3. The other two, I'm not sure. Let's go with the Commanders.
Coming off an enormous win, knocking off the previously undefeated San Francisco 49ers, the Cleveland Browns are the team that are over 500 there. Ace, what did you teach when you said you were a teacher?
Yes, I taught 4th grade for 11 years and 5th for 20.
Well, thank you for your service. You know, if I hadn't done this, I'd have been an elementary school teacher, so I respect that. And I have to give you two out of 3. That's 67%. I don't think that's necessarily a passing grade, but it does get you 3 of the possible 4 entries into our drawing on Friday. So thanks for playing, bud. We appreciate it.
Which is 75%. Say.
Yeah, that's like a D,
true.
right? 75% gets you a D.
Well, yeah, but that's not... You get the entry for just calling. That gives you the 3 out of 4.
Yeah, but most of the times, like for ACT, SAT, you get how many points just for putting your name on it.
Based on all this WIA stuff, we could do different divisions and draw different trivia winners every week.
I like that idea.
Based on the population of the town that you call from, we could.
Are you calling from Iola, Scandinavia?
I would love to. I really want to figure out how all this works. I do. Let's get Who's the head of the WI? Who does the?
We can get Todd Clark.
Let's get Clarky on here and try to figure out how some of these schools are Division 1.
Where have you gone,
2.
Doug Chickering? All right, Ace. 3 out of 4 entries into Friday's drawing. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you.
All right, thanks, fellas. Have a great day.
Mount Horeb's a heavy favorite to win D3 then, Jesse? Or is that...
I would say they are one of the front runners.
Where's Columbus? Because Columbus is a squad, by all accounts.
All right, hang on. Let me check the Dean's notes here, because the Dean's got everything covered
You look
us.
that up. We'll take a break. We'll play
Big news coming potentially out of Denver. Big news potentially coming out of Denver, according to Pat McAfee. I will tell you what that is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate Back Tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
All right, Team Pella, listen up.
Thanks, John Kuhn. Customers love our products with limited lifetime warranties. Check out these big plays. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass.
No interference on that play, Coach.
And stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze.
Can it get any better?
It can. With monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and a free quote at PellaWI.com.
Let's go.
6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers on 10/31/2023.
There's only one place in Milwaukee where every day of the year, dreams and reality get together for a great time. Where you can walk in a player and walk out a winner. That place, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. With fantastic dining, gaming, sports betting, a luxurious hotel, and endless ways to win, the excitement never stops. The only thing missing is you. Your win is waiting. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Visit our website to learn more. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Bucks basketball is back.
A new era tips off with Coach Griffin at the helm, alongside returning favorites and exciting new additions. It's Dame time, Milwaukee. Don't miss a moment of the action. From the electrifying slam dunks to the roar of 18,000 fans, all unfolding live at Fiserv Forum. Secure your seats now. Visit Bucks.com/tickets and join us for an unforgettable season of Bucks basketball. There's a seat waiting for you at Fiserv Forum. Secure yours now at Bucks.com/tickets.
Get to and from every home game in Green Bay this football season safely. Milwaukee Broad House, Jack's American Pub, and Wanakee Golf Course all offer transportation on game days. They've got bus services with private restrooms and all-you-can-drink packages. Book your round-trip ride from any of these locations and get complimentary access to an all-you-can-eat and drink tailgate at the bar on Holmgren Way. Make your reservations now. There's still room for the October 29th and November 5th games. Visit MilwaukeeBroadhouse.com to book your trip today.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust. Men can be their own worst critics, especially as we get older and compare our current self to the younger version. The experts at Forward Healthy Lifestyles in Germantown help men with testosterone optimization, regenerative medicines, heart health screenings, weight loss, and yes, sexual enhancement services. Forward Healthy Lifestyles can offer regained energy and endurance, more muscle and tone, enhanced performance, joint therapies, and more. Change your life and stop comparing who you are now to who you used to be. Visit forwardhealthylifestyles.com for a free consultation.
When you need electrical service, choose the company other companies call. Current Electric has been energizing and illuminating lives in the southeastern Wisconsin area since 1983. They have earned the trust of businesses like Bauer Sign and Lighting, Midas, and Take 5 Car Wash. With 40 years of 5-star service under their belt, they are sure they can earn your trust too. Whether you need residential or commercial work completed or are interested in solar or generators, call the superheroes at Current Electric. Visit callcurrent.com.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Tito's Handmade Vodka, America's original craft vodka produced in Austin, Texas, and naturally gluten-free. Tito's Handmade Vodka.
I know it hurts to say goodbye, but it's time for me to fly.
Before we get to Wonelli, Tausch has teased, well, I'm not sure what it is exactly, because it's not necessarily news. There is news of coordinator changes with the Carolina Panthers, who have turned over their play calling duties.
Give it to Campy. Let Campy take over.
Unfortunately, no. Thomas Brown is now he's the offensive coordinator there. He is now going to call plays. So Frank Reich, with his 0-6 Carolina team that does not have the first overall pick this year because they traded it to the Bears, he's changing play calling.
They're already throwing old boy under the bus out there with reports that the owner stepped in and forced them to take Bryce Young, not Stroud. The coaches wanted Stroud. So you're already doing that 5 weeks into a season. Frank Reich ain't going to be there. That's going to be a wrap for old Frankie. Whether or not he makes the season, when you're out there doing that, it's tough sledding. But my tease, or do you have anything else, or can we get to the tease?
Is Thomas Brown the old Bears running back? Is that who that is?
Tausch would like to get to his tease.
No, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. Carolina
really care
stinks.
either.
Yeah. But we play Carolina.
Didn't we have that conversation of the most irrelevant team, and you said it was Carolina? Wasn't that recently we did that?
Yeah, but whenever you have the first overall, but nobody really looks at them with the first overall pick. Like, it's a weird dynamic that they have going on out there.
Indeed. Tease!
Buddy Ryan's kid, ESPN cat. And I had heard rumors that this was the
Rob
guy
Ryan?
Sean Payton wanted as the D coordinator from the jump. Pat McAfee is hearing things. I don't want to put anything out there. It's not Adam Schefter. hearing things, not reporting, but there's smoke and fire brewing. Denver's defense is god-awful. That Buddy Ryan's kid, Rex Ryan, who is a defensive savant. I think we can all give him that. He is
friend
really
of show.
Good.
Yeah, he's been on a few times.
He potentially is in play to take over for, I don't even know who's out there.
Vance
Joseph.
Yeah.
Denver's defense stinks. It would be fun to be another fun storyline, but that's something to watch as the Packers prepare to play the Denver Broncos.
So wait, so they played Thursday night football. They had the weekend off. Again, you're going off of Dove Kleiman's tweets.
Well, Dove is right on almost everything he writes.
Well, but he's not reporting anything. He's just passing along someone else's reports.
Dove is getting a lot more opinionated too, which Dove is kind of
the journalism landscape is changing.
Dove is an interesting cat.
Yeah, he is. I guess my question would be, if you're doing this, you're doing it now after they actually played pretty well against the Chiefs defensively. Did they not, that Thursday night game?
They limited what Patrick Mahomes
and they
did.
had all this time off,
Yeah.
and I don't think this is probably going to happen before they play the Packers, but hey, who knows? What I know is going to happen right now is a very short Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
Well, I was going to ask you about a bunch of the results yesterday. I think we can save some of that conversation for tomorrow when we do Power Rankings Tuesday. What I will ask you here today, what do you make of so many teams being either 3-2, 3-3, or 2-3? The NFC alone, it is just a mob of teams that are either one game over 500, one game under 500, or at 500, outside of a couple of outliers like the Carolina Panthers or the Eagles and 49ers and Lions at the top. What do you make of this entire collection of teams with these records? Not just in the NFC, but in the AFC too. It's pretty crazy.
It's what the league wants. The league gets what they want. It's a lot of mediocrity. I think they'd wish a little more offense, but this is kind of, I think, the vision Pete Rozelle had way back in the day with revenue sharing and everything else was give teams hope. And the margin for error in the NFL is the smallest there is in any professional sports league. It's why we're sitting where we're at. You know going into the season that the Dodgers are going to win their division or they're going to be in the playoffs. Typically, you think that the New York Yankees, that didn't work.
And then they get 5 days off, and then they struggle in the NLDS.
But the NFL has gotten to the point where I think it's actually starting to skew. And I don't know what they do back with that as far as getting it where Kansas City has been dominant. You want to have your big dogs that people can hate and love, and then you have a bunch of And unfortunately, now Green Bay is in that middle part, which you typically don't want to be in that very long. So hopefully you can climb out of it. But this is what the NFL wants. They want parity.
They do. They love the idea of everyone thinking they've got a chance, including a team with a first-time starting quarterback and a lot of young people around them. And they still want you to have the hope that you have a playoff team, and maybe the Packers will. So, yes, this is by design, and they're getting what they want. All right, that's it for Whoa Nelly. Did you get what you wanted on Prize Picks over the weekend?
I did. It's been another good run on Prize Picks. Daily Fantasy Sports made easy. Again, I go with the 3-player. I think I struggled Thursday night. My Thursday night was not good. I think I went Mahomes more, but it didn't work well.
Yeah, you were bad on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday night wasn't great, but my weekend was good. And your weekend be good, too. You're not competing against me. You're not competing against other people. It's you and Prize Picks' projections. Get NBA. You had Giannis and Dollar Dame last night getting going. Got the NFL. You got the WNBA finals are going. Cricket. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It is that easy. Download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up today and use that promo code WI. You put 100 in, Prize Picks gives you 100. Again, go to prizepicks.com to start today.
When you do your 3, are you doing the flex play, or are you doing you got to get all 3 with the power play?
So you got the Friday free flex, which
yeah, I've hit that
fun.
a couple of times.
It's fun, but I like going for the. I'm a jugular guy. Let's go big.
I'm a jugular guy. We started the show with a poll about Badger football, and we haven't revisited that. We've had a very busy show with Jerry Kramer and Bob Fox joining us and talking about the Packers, etc. So we will circle back to that poll question to wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
I cannot imagine that there's any way that he missed the game because he's unhappy that the game was on turf. I think that's preposterous to me.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30.
I thought they looked great. I got to be honest, I think that's what I kind of expected from the Packers.
Presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Also sponsored by Construction Business Group and Island Resort and Casino.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey, riding with you every mile since 1977. The Boucher Group has exciting news to share with you. We've expanded to better serve our community.
Introducing Nissan Lake Country, the newest addition to our family.
Step into our showroom and discover our exceptional selection of brand new Nissans.
We are also stocked with the best pre-owned options in the market.
And as we expand, we're not just growing our inventory, we're also growing our team.
So join a team that values your skills and celebrates your success.
Visit us online or in-store today and view our current job listings at bouchercareers.com.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. Hop in or hop online at uwcu.org to join. For the second consecutive year, the Heartland Trophy remains in possession of the Hawkeyes of Iowa following a win over Wisconsin at Camp Randall Stadium on Saturday. Here's head coach Luke Fickell after his second loss at the helm of the Badgers.
They beat us in every phase of the game this afternoon. Pretty obvious. I'm going to give them a lot of credit. But, offensively, defensively, and in particular special teams, they made the plays when they needed to. Neither one of us, I think could sustain much offensively.
Wisconsin looks to rebound this Saturday at Illinois.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
I'm here with Dr. Daniel Holub at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doctor, let's say someone is feeling some pain. That pain, it just will not go away. What's the next thing that person should do?
Get an appointment with one of the specialists at Orthopedic Associates, and we will work through that problem with you.
In your position, you help people get rid of pain. You help them be able to move and be active again. How rewarding is it for you to really see someone regain a certain quality of life?
That's got to be the best part of my job, is seeing somebody that's been struggling either for a short time with a fresh injury or a long time with a degenerative condition, and being able to find a proper solution for them, whether it's just a rehabilitation process or if it's a surgical process, and watching them over the course of weeks to months improve to the point of enjoying life again.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Homer here. 2-time national champion winning quarterback Tim Tebow will be in Milwaukee on Thursday, October 26th for the Great Lakes Adult and Teen Challenge Gala. Tim Tebow, college football legend, great author. Get your tickets at greatlakesatc.com. 100 tables are filled. They should be 120. I'll buy one. Now we're at 101. greatlakesatc.com or call 414-748-HOPE to see Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow, Thursday, October 26th in Milwaukee.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Tito's Handmade Vodka, America's original craft vodka produced in Austin, Texas, and naturally gluten-free. Tito's Handmade Vodka.
Great to be back. Are we together all week?
I'll be here.
Nah, I got 2 days off this week.
You going into a special?
I'm actually, I have a friend who's coming up from Chicago, and he's bringing, so it's Tier 1 Corey, one of my best men from my wedding. He is attending one of his work conferences in Madison from Chicago. And so I am on double dog duty on Thursday. Becca's gone, Corey's in town, but he's at a conference, so I'm watching Mo and Rufus all day Thursday.
Rufus.
Yeah,
That's a good dog name.
Mo and Rufus. Yeah, they're pals. They're buds. One is better potty trained than the other.
Mo, I'm sure.
Yep.
Real quickly, the poll question as it currently stands. After the Badgers lost to Iowa on Saturday, do you still trust the process and head coach Luke Fickell, or are you nervous about Wisconsin's football future? We're at 800 votes. 69% trust the process, up to 31% nervous about the future. So
I think that's a fair, good poll.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a lot of people nervous about the future.
It is, but I think there's always going to be people nervous about unknown. That's just how we're wired as human beings.
Meanwhile, the Packers are practicing right now without us because we're doing the radio program. But from our good buddy Rob Domofsky, his updates with some video on Twitter/X. Aaron Jones back on the field after missing Monday's game.
Let's go.
He's got a little video of him running around. Quay Walker and Devondre Campbell rehabbing. Quay Walker hurt his knee in the game against the Raiders. Devondre Campbell has missed the last several weeks, injured his ankle on the first play against the Saints. So both inside linebackers still not out there. Darnell Savage, who hurt his calf against the Raiders, is taking part in practice, as is Zane Anderson, a special team safety who's been sidelined by a hamstring. But the big headline there, Tausch, Aaron Jones, who I believe changes everything if he's available.
I don't think there's any doubt we beat the Raiders if he's playing, and I probably would say the same thing about the Falcons.
Yeah.
So we're all looking at this differently if it's a 4-1 team, but that stuff happens and you have to overcome it. But what I'm really excited to see from Matt LaFleur's standpoint is how are you going to utilize Aaron Jones? What's going to be that, and how much can you help Jordan Love with having that guy out on the field? Because he is he is a dynamic, difference-making player. So getting him back, I think you have to judge people off of what they do out on the field. And with Aaron Jones out there, I think that judgment is going to be a lot better for Jordan Love when he's out there helping this offense do things.
The locker room going to be open around 1 o'clock to us as reporters, so hopefully we'll get to talk to Aaron Jones and see where he's at. We also will be talking with all the coordinators, including Joe Barry and Adam Stenovich, both of whom have plenty to talk about. And you mentioned it earlier, or maybe I mentioned it. Their special teams have not exactly been
pretty
helping
average.
them.
Pretty average, yeah.
So we'll see what Rich Bisaccia has
Not like
to say
Iowa's
about that.
special teams. Holy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen a punter. Like, we've joked a lot about punting. I don't know if I've ever seen Torrey Taylor, 50.2 yards a punt, 502 yards a punt. That's a lot of punt.
That's a lot of punting yardage, yes. All right. That's it for us today. We will do it again tomorrow. Great to be back. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
It's Chevy truck season, and with a Chevy Silverado, there's no such thing as an uphill battle. With a Chevy Silverado, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. Because with impressive towing capability, an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen, and the choice of powerful engines to pick from, whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado with the capability you need. Visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com.
So I came to Advent because I was experiencing recurrent sinus infections. As a new mom, it was really kind of difficult.
Many of our patients complain of sinus infections. The headaches, fatigue, and nasal stuffiness have a profound effect on their lives.
I just felt like your sickness starts affecting your energy level and, the things that you really enjoy doing. That really was a breaking point for me.
So Molly came to Advent. Abnormally tight sinuses and swollen turbinates led to simple breathing triangle solutions that ended up taking about 20 minutes in office. And very soon thereafter, she was breathing freely.
I'm just in awe at the amount of air that that I'm able to breathe in and out each night, and I haven't had a sinus infection since the procedure.
I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. When you breathe well, you do live better.
Results may vary.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find families for children who've lingered in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video. Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
This is SportsCenter.